I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Live from the Xfinity studio. Well, good morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday to all across the Delaware Valley. This is the Anthony Gargano Show presented by our good friends from Xfinity. Well, the deadline has passed and there was a wave of movement all across baseball. And let's sift through it. As we know, the Phillies get Arráez, so they get Luis Arráez, who is exactly what they need at the top of the order, right? A guy that I guess the ESPN insider called him the anti-Phillies player, right? Because he's the guy that doesn't strike out and puts the ball in play. So, we've been talking about Arráez, if you've been paying attention, for years, if not certainly in the last few weeks, that Arráez would be a good fit for the Phils. So they land him, and then they bolster the bullpen with Killian, who's give you a little leverage piece in the eighth. He was the closer for the Giants. And Rayleigh, who's the soft-tossing lefty, who's been effective from the Mets. So you got a lefty in the pen, a good specialist, and you got a leverage guy, because I know Kirkering pitched last night, but you really don't want that in the playoffs, right? So you got that. Maybe you go with Gage Wood as well. I'd like to see Gage Wood up here, and you pair him with Killian as a kind of bridge to Duran, which I like, right? So your pitching for the playoffs is set up, but you're still looking for a Game 4 starter, and that's probably going to be Nola, unless Painter somehow gets it together. But the deadline passes, no right-handed bat, and no starting pitcher. So Robbie Ray goes to the Padres. I really wanted Robbie Ray because that's your guy to get you through the rest of the season. And you also could pitch him in Game 4 of the playoffs. Here's the problem. I love the fact that you get to go with Wheeler, Sanchez, Luzardo. That's great. But you're going to be in the wild card, and you're going to need to get another fourth pitcher. And then it's going to wind up being a bullpen game, right? Because you'll get Nola, but you need Nola. You can't expose him third time through the order. So you're going to have to go with a bullpen game when he pitches, and you got to hope he doesn't blow up early. Like last night, he gave up the 2 bombs early. Now, he wound up going 6 and pitched really well the rest of the way. But the problem is the long ball. You'll be facing good teams, right? So if you think about it, you got Milwaukee, who's got really good lefties, right? Because lefties kill Nola. So you're going to deal with Turang. You're going to have to deal with Bowers. You're going to have to deal with Yelich from the Brewers if you face them. The Dodgers, we already know about, right? Ohtani, Muncy. You're going to have to, Freeman, you're going to have to deal with those lefties, with Edman, who's a switch hitter. So, that piece of it is not good. Now, you guys still got to get into the wild card, which I think they will. There's 7.5 games behind the Braves. So, barring an Atlanta collapse, you're in the wild card. The Cubs will have 1 wild card because you're behind the Cubs. And then you got to make sure that right now you're behind Arizona. I'm not in love with Arizona. I don't think they're very good. The Padres got better. They got 2 starting pitchers, Casey Mize and Robbie Ray, which really helps the rotation a lot. They didn't sell. We all thought that they might sell Mason Miller, Morjan, right? They didn't do it. So they kept their bullpen intact, and they added starting pitching, which is going to make them formidable. I think it's going to wind up being the Phillies, Cubs, Phillies, Padres as your wild cards. Now, I don't know. The Pirates are still in it. Arizona's still in it. And Florida's only 2 games behind the Phillies, but they traded Liam Hicks, their left-handed catcher. So I don't really think those 3 teams are serious. So I think the Phillies are pretty much, should be good. But the fallout from Arráez is worrisome because you're just switching everywhere. The one thing that I don't like about this is that you got everybody switching positions. So Bryce goes to the outfield, Stott goes to third, and Bohm goes to first. So I don't know what kind of, like, Bryce is a good first baseman. I don't know what people, they criticize him. I don't get that. I think he's a really good first baseman. I like Harper in the outfield if you got power at first, not Alec Bohm. Like, you're making room for Alec Bohm so he could play every day? That I'm not in love with. They like Bohm way more than I do. I don't see it. I don't know. If it were me, I would just keep Bryce at first, move Stott to third, and play Dela Cruz. I like Dela Cruz. I mean, listen, is he the right-handed bat answer? No. But I think Dela Cruz will give you a professional bat. He looks good at the plate. Walks, right? Like, he looks good. And, you know, you got Hill to kind of mix and match as well. You saw what he did last night. He wins the game with the grand slam, and he's been a good addition. So between Hill and Dela Cruz, I like those guys. Like, I'd be fine with that. So, yeah, I just, the Bohm thing, I don't like, because now all of a sudden you're moving positions. Like, I think Stott has a great glove. So he should be fine at third, but it's still a new position for him. Now you're moving Bryce to the outfield, and then your Bohm's playing first. So I don't know. I don't know. That's a lot of movement. You love Arráez, and what Arráez does is he changes the scope of the lineup. You got an on-base guy. So you're going to wind up going, you got 4 deep because you'll lead off Arráez. You'll go Turner 2, Harper 3, Schwarber 4. So, right off the bat, you got 4. It's why I would slide in Dela Cruz at 5. And I know, I get it. Like, he's he just came up. He was a 4A player, the whole thing. But I think he's the best from the right side of what you got, better than Bohm. And they'll go Bohm 5, and then Stott 6, and then JT, and then you mix and match, or a Marsh. The Marsh will go 6, and then JT, and then Stott, and then you got Crawford. And Crawford leading into Arráez is interesting, right? Because if Crawford can get, especially against righties, against lefties, obviously there'll be a platoon, but against right-handers, Crawford speed down the bottom. If he steals second, you got to rise up with a runner in scoring position, a guy that's going to put the ball in play, a guy that gets hit. So from that perspective, I like it. But, did they do enough? No. I just don't think. I think they're short. Now, I still go back to what I'm not like waving a white flag because I still got those 3 starters. And that alone, with Arráez setting the table with the top of the order, gives you a puncher's chance. They're just not a favorite. Like, I'm not going, oh, man. Like, baseball's baseball. And we've seen it. The Phillies were the best team in 2011. I'll say it every day. They had the aces. They're going at it. They still had a great lineup. And they just went cold for a series and lost. So that could happen to the Dodgers. Good morning, VG.
What's up, dude?
Oh, Jules. I'm
going to need a couple days to process this.
Jules.
I'm supposed to go down tomorrow. I don't even want
He's already there, Jules.
Dombrowski sucks.
So
it's like, all right, they're better. But they were 6 furlongs in horse racing. Now they're 4 furlongs. And it's going to take a massive burst of energy and maybe a tweak or 2 on the Dodgers to catch up. They're just not.
Well, again,
not there.
But again, what the matchups is in the series, right? Like, again.
But I think it's narrow-minded kind of, or short-sighted maybe, to say, yeah, we got 3 stud arms. We do, but stuff happens. a little bit of depth. We're a little forearm strain away from Aaron Nola being one of your top three.
Yeah,
a little bit of depth.
I mean, I'm not going under that. I mean, listen, I get you. I think they needed Robbie Ray. When Robbie Ray went to the Padres, I was disappointed.
The Padres, man, that dude.
AJ Preller.
Yeah.
He's
like that guy.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
And
Everyone
what's
has
amazing is
Mason
that
Miller. He's like, nah.
and he doesn't have a ton of prospects.
No, he's got nothing left after last year.
He's got one of the worst systems in baseball, and he winds up getting. By the way, sneaky good is Casey Mize.
Yeah, he may be the steal of it.
Like Casey Mize and Robbie Ray to go with their rotation now. I mean, I think they're pretty dangerous.
And like, am I nuts? I look at Taylor Ward goes. He went for nothing.
I know.
Alex Hoppe. He's 20. Now this is the gem. 27-year-old. He's in 24 appearances in the majors. He's got a 5.79 ERA, high strikeout rate, but comparable metrics when you look at McFarland with the high fastball, striking out a lot of people. Then they got a guy in low A ball who he stinks, and Brock Morse, he's got a 5.56 ERA in Double A, and like we couldn't do better than that for Taylor Ward. You wouldn't even have to touch your top 10 prospects, probably.
I thought the same thing.
What are we doing?
Well, look at what Ward went. Ramos went to the Yankees.
Well, Ramos, I get it. You got control, but that defense, and I don't know if we need that defense.
No, I'm with you. But again, it's a right-handed stick.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about the right-handed stick.
Right.
Like the Yankees did get a good job because they got Garcia, who wound up hitting a home run last night for them, and Ramos. So they helped their bats, and they're going to get Judge back.
Right.
So they're going to be pretty nasty. But I
don't understand it, man.
You know.
And kudos to the Red Sox, all in on Rushman. They gave up, the Dodgers gave up their 5, 7, and 17th prospects for Skubal. The Red Sox gave up their 2, 4, and 5.
I know.
For a guy who's not even playing right now, he's injured.
Dude, I hear you.
Like, yo, we're hot, we're all in. Let's go.
Yeah.
We got a lockout coming. Let's go.
Well, but they're smart in that. Listen, they gave up a ton. But, catcher was a weak spot for them.
Mm-hmm.
And now their lineup is pretty long. Mm-hmm. And they got pitching. Yeah, they're good. But they're going to be good. And the American League is wide open.
It felt like an incomplete day. We got the news early, and then that was it. What, did he go out to lunch? He's on the yacht. He did his job.
Yeah, he went.
Like all day, you're seeing stuff happen.
He went and took a rest in the cabin.
Yeah. They got the sound effects on MLB channel all day, and I'm hearing it. Never the Phils. I was like, what is he doing?
Yeah, no,
there's a lot of people moving for, and I understand they got the best bat, but an on-base guy is going to help. But they need more than an on-base singles hitter. They just knew, and they need a right-handed power bat. And him saying, I don't have a quote from it. Him saying De La Cruz and Derek Hill, and we have Tommy Pham in AAA.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
I know.
De La Cruz, I'm a big fan. I took a little heat being optimistic about him coming into the season. He's a good rotational bench player. Like, he's not if you're trying to win the World Series and go against the Dodgers, this is not it, man.
It's
going to take
and here's the other problem.
Luck for this to happen.
Here's the other problem is that you're weak. You didn't get the starting pitcher.
No,
so again. If you're going to be a wild card, because I don't think you catch the Braves now. They're 7.5.
No.
And if you're a wild card, here's the problem: is that Noah will have to pitch in the playoffs.
Yeah, and
that's a huge issue.
Oh, Dombo's going into the metrics of Aaron, and he's a top 70 pitcher when you look at the metrics divided by 30 teams.
It's a huge issue. A huge issue. Like, there's a real problem.
He got a quote. He had a quote yesterday saying people are calling him about Alex Rangel. Like, come on, man. Like, that's the stud you're holding on to that's going to save us, is we need another pitcher because everybody wants him. If people are calling for him and you didn't give him away, that's malpractice.
I know.
Like, come on.
I know. They have a huge PR issue. Like,
Painter's minor league production recently influenced their decision.
Because here's why. Like, Dombrowski comes across as though he talks down to the fan base.
Oh, I've got 2 clips. You want to hear them? I'm going to punch them.
Like, he has that haughty attitude.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, dude, you ain't won in a long time. Detroit's a long time ago.
Yeah.
All right? And you have failed since you arrived here. All right? Listen, you got to the World Series.
Once.
All right? Because you got hot and everything happened.
Mm-hmm.
But since then, it's been a failure, and you have not addressed certain things. And again, I go back to Bohm. Why are you switching positions? It's musical chairs in the infield or on the diamond to save Alec Bohm.
None of it makes sense. And to save what? Trey Turner's fragile ego? He can't move? Like, what is going on with the whole situation?
Even if you put the Turner thing aside, because I agree with you, I don't know how you don't move Turner. The only way, the only reason why you don't do it is that he feels like he needs a lot of work, and you need a spring training to work to play center.
He's been there before, though. I know. But it's to the point where they're joking on MLB Network. The worst guy defensively, he's not moving. Like they're joking. The national pundits are joking.
No, listen, I'm with you. But, like, sometimes he could be like, dude, I don't feel comfortable out there. I need a spring where I need to get my head right to play center. That's the only thing I come up with.
He's frustrated.
Because I'm with you. Like, he should move to center. And then that's that, right? Like, now Bryce stays at first, where he's a very good first baseman, and Stott goes to short. And that would have been your best infield. What I'm reacting to is I don't know what they see with Bohm. So you're protecting Bohm in the lineup by moving
oh, you ready for this?
Otherwise, Stott plays third and it's as is, right? Like, all you're doing is moving Stott to third, and Bohm goes to the bench.
Perfect. Nope. Here we go. This is his quote. Well, Anthony, he's got close to 60 RBIs and 13, 14 homers. I mean, it sounds like, and I know frustrations can rise when you see it. It was a good point made by a scout. When you see a player every day, you have a tendency to look at their downside. But if you compare his numbers, how many guys have more RBIs than him? We think he's a good player. Like, that's what you're giving us with Alec Bohm? His WAR's negative. He's a negative WAR, and I don't even like WAR. I think it's a dumb stat, but he's negative.
Dude, it's ridiculous. Like, I know you need to publicly back your player, like, especially Bohm, who we know is incredibly sensitive, right?
Yeah.
So, like, it's not like I don't expect him to come out and rip Bohm, but your actions, again, I don't know why you're saving.
The follow-up question is, this is the guy you've been trying to trade for 3 years and nobody wants him.
And that's the issue. Like, what do you mean when you watch a player every day? Let's examine Bohm. Okay, so he's got some ribbies.
Yes.
What else does he do?
He's turned into an okay defensive third baseman, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But again, if that's moot, because he's going to
first base,
right? So that's moot.
Right.
So all you're doing is saving his stick.
Mm-hmm.
So the defense doesn't come to play.
True.
And I don't even know how he's going to be at first base.
Mm-hmm.
All right? So you're saving his stick. Why? Why are you saving his stick?
You need those double plays.
So you got what? You got some ribbies. He gives you no power. And
he got 13, 14 home runs.
And here's the issue. If you're playing first base, you got to give me power.
Yes.
Right? That's a power position. If you're playing first, I need power out of you.
Right.
He doesn't give you power.
He's 37 runs scored. You know why? Because he can't get on base.
Right.
37 runs scored.
Right. He can't give you on base, and he grounds into double plays. Like, that's he's a walking GIDP.
Yeah.
GIDP. He's a GIDP.
And they need Dombrowski might be worse than Sirianni when he talks.
Yes.
I think he's clearly paced
better.
Way better.
Yeah. Now, Dombrowski has that way of talking down to you that's infuriating. It's completely infuriating.
Yes. I got one of him talking about starting pitching depth.
Yeah.
And we got one of him talking about the defensive change.
All right, let's hear your general manager.
Either one. They both equally bad and annoying.
Oh, we talked to a lot of clubs about starting pitchers, yes.
Starting
just to
pitching.
see who was out there on a consistent basis and what the cost would be. So, yeah, we did.
Do you come out of the deadline concerned about your starting pitching depth?
Well, a little, but that's really the choice came into. You end up getting a guy that's a fifth starter that you don't think is as good as your guy that you have now, an option, the guy that you think has a better chance to win to help your depth, or do what we're doing. And we figured we'd do what we were doing, help our bullpen. And, Ron Hell has had ups and downs. People call us about him, about their adding to their depth. So, yeah, I always worry, but also after you get past the trading deadline to this year, it happens to be August 3rd, I worry about our depth everywhere if you have injuries.
His head. Someone make me a punching bag with his head on it.
Yeah, he's got it.
Halfway through, he gives you that little smirk.
Yeah, he does have that face.
Oh man,
he makes.
We need him.
He does. Jules, that's great, man. Look at that face.
Ron Hell. People, if someone called you to take him for something, do it.
Could you imagine? Like I tell you about the dummy we have in the basement.
Yes.
What the hell is it called?
I know who you mean.
Oh,
Bob or Bill.
Bob. Sideshow, not Sideshow Bob. Whatever it is, it's Bob.
Yeah,
right.
Right.
And putting that face on the dummy is the.
And it's got to have like a soft neck.
Right.
The neck's got to bob when you hit it. It's like man.
Well, yeah, because Bob's got a thick, muscular neck.
No, it's got a.
He's got like a corkscrew neck.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, it's got to have
like you want to
the little jaw,
you want to take his head and just spin it.
Yeah, and it should be made of like a soft Nerf material.
Right.
So almost like your fist mushes into it.
It drives me absolutely insane.
People are name those names. I'm sure the organization would like to know who's calling about around hell. No offense to the guy. He's a nice kid, but at the deadline, someone's calling you about him.
But when he's talking about the fifth starter, this is what drives me nuts. Yo, Dave, Casey Mize.
Bro,
right?
Yeah.
Like the Padres have nothing.
Covered bare.
All right? But they're able to get Casey Mize. Oh, and Robbie Ray. You're going to tell me that Mize and Ray aren't better than Nola? Come on, man.
Like, yeah.
Come on. Like, dude.
Idiots.
Dude, seriously. That's ridiculous.
Or Painter. They're going to be better than the guy we got to send down.
I mean, I don't mind if you
send him down.
First of all, he's still not throwing his fastball, right?
Right.
So you're not pitching him in the playoffs. You're going to pitch Nola. Oh. And then you're going to sit there and you're going to hold your breath for the first 4 innings and hope he doesn't blow up. But here's the other problem, especially with this team, is that, hey, like, he can give you 3 runs. Problem is they're going to come early. Like when you're facing a lefty, he's going to give up a home run. You got to pray that nobody's on base. Right?
Yes.
And then with this team, you got a team that gets tight.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
They get tight. So if they're looking up and and you're down
3-0, 2-0 early.
What do you think their bats are going to do?
Right.
How puckered are they going to be when they're looking up at a 3-0 deficit in the 3rd inning?
Thank you, Colby Coles, for reminding me this because it's infuriating. The ran out of time. Jason Stark put out a tweet. The Phillies made minor league trade at the buzzer. Seth Johnson to the A's for outfielder Colby Thomas, but ran out of time shopping for one more starter or reliever. Ran out of time? What's he got, a sundial? He can't figure this out? Couple
6
minutes
o'clock is the deadline.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second.
Right. Oh, that's tea and biscuit time.
Oh, by the way,
can we push it back till 6:30, please?
By the way, Dave, Scooble went on Saturday.
Yeah, right.
All right. I know you were probably sleeping. It was Saturday night.
Oh, man.
You were probably in bed. He's the same with the jammies.
Oh, of course.
Right.
Right.
He was in bed. All right. But Scooble moved Saturday night.
Story time.
So there were Does he have a hat?
Yeah, so he's got the nightcap. You know it, dude. Flannel.
You know he wears the hat when he sleeps. With the real.
I don't even want to go tomorrow. I don't even want to go. Right now, I said I need a couple days to process it.
But here's the thing.
And God bless Derek Hill. Great game.
It was a great night. It was a great night. Here's the thing. I don't want to flush October.
Right.
I don't want to do it, right? So I'm going to cling to my 3 starters, Arráez, Duran. You got the bullpen should be good, knock on wood, right?
Yeah.
You got the pitching. So I'm gonna try to rely on that, and it's baseball. And hope that here you go, it's baseball. And again, like what kind of percentage? I mean, Brain's coming on. He'll probably give you, a 6% the 9% chance.
I mean, I feel
like that's kind of how
I feel miserable. I read Bob Nightingale this morning. He has Phillies as one of the winners. It just doesn't feel like a winning day trade deadline.
Well, it's funny. I know Bobby liked it.
Yeah, he had him as the second or third winner.
But the ESPN had him as a loser.
I feel like that right now.
So ESPN said, you knew Dave Dombrowski was going to do something reasonably big, and he did, adding Arráez to provide much needed on base at the top of the order, plus Brooks Raley and Caleb Killian for the pen. However, this plan apparently includes playing Arráez at second, shifting Stott to third, Bohm to first, and Harper to the outfield, where he hasn't played since 2022, and he wasn't good out there then. Given Stott's inexperience at third, the Phillies are arguably making themselves worse on defense at all four positions if they stick to this plan, which is why they're a loser and not a winner. And with the Phillies suddenly fighting for just a wild card spot, they could have used a starting pitcher, but Dombrowski failed to land one on a day when so many were traded. That's from ESPN.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a quick TO, come back with the brain, and we'll go over how did it shape the markets with the MLB deadline. We'll ask the brain coming up next. First, a word from our friends. Let's talk about the BetPark Sportsbook online casino app. The Lizard on the hill against Littell for Washington. Tonight's a 8-3 win.
Tonight's a run line game because they're minus 275 on the money line.
Yeah, because they're going to rake. He's the profile that fits, right? Like Schwarber, I think Schwarber goes yard tonight.
All right.
In fact, he may hit 2 tonight. Get out of his slump and hits a couple. It's power slump.
I like it.
You can check that out on the BetParks app, as well as all your favorite casino games and slots and everything else they got, which is so much fun. New customers get 500 spins on the slot game Go Collect Them, a soccer-themed slot game, as well as $500 casino bonus back in the first 24 hours. BetParks.com has all the details. Got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan. You got to be 21. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Now let's talk about Xfinity and the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee for your Wi-Fi. What if you can have that reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi and you can keep it the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. It's Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together. Finds and fixes problems before you notice them. Super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Let you stream the game even when the whole family's online, like in my house. All your devices work in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. Best part, no annual contracts, no hidden fees. Xfinity's best equipment included. A lot changes in 5 years, man. My kids are bigger than me. All right? That's crazy. Records are broken, championships are won, but your Wi-Fi should stay reliable. The price should stay put. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more, Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only, restrictions apply. Now let's go to the brain.
Brain. Red, the brain finder.
Good morning, brain.
How are you, man? Good to see you.
Good to see you, buddy. I was thinking of you yesterday because you're such a great players guy and a great baseball guy, sportsman, 4 for 4. What was your takeaway from the deadline? You heard ours. I'm curious about yours.
I mean, look, obviously, it's funny. And I read an article, I think it may have been on ESPN or whatever like that, but basically saying that all these teams just are so risk adverse. And the Dodgers are like, okay, we'll take Tariq Skubal for prospects aren't even our top 5. Sure. It does make you wonder why a team like, especially Tampa Bay and Milwaukee, I focus on those two. I know we're to Philadelphia City we're now, but the reason I say those two teams is those are teams that don't have money and they actually have a chance to win this year. Have they even won a World Series? Milwaukee ever won a World Series?
No, I mean, that's the issue. You're the Brewers.
Hasn't.
You're right.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big loss.
Well, they had a chance to really
Yeah.
Now they have this guy Jesus Maid, who's number one prospect. They weren't gonna have to give him up. But like, I wonder when I'm like, you know
Apparently,
what?
they wanted Logan Henderson.
Well, he actually, it's funny. That was
He's
my
been
big
pitching
bet
well.
today, involving him. He's been terrific. I would have been I would have fought that. And in fairness to them, I would have fought that because, again, the Dodgers are giving up nothing in terms of helping them for this year. Logan Henderson has been nothing short of dominant.
Yeah.
His stats are extremely impressive. Young guy. I would have fought that one too, but they had a lot of good other prospects. Look, we weren't in those negotiating rooms, but to me, if I'm a team like that, Milwaukee or Tampa Bay, I'm going to say, you know what? I have all these prospects because I want to win the World Series this year and be a legend. And 20 years from now, it's the 10-year reunion for our title. 20 years from now, it's a 20-year reunion for the title. We're never forgotten, and we accomplished something that our city will never forget. I'll be, and like, that's something I think that.
And Tampa's good. Like,
Tampa's good.
Their lineup is good. They're good.
Well, again, and to me, to let the Dodgers, for lack of a better word, get away with this again, it just angers everyone. It's almost like there was a conspiracy to PO everyone. You know what I mean? Get everyone PO'd. Like it's like, all right. It's almost like the owners are saying, let's just do this. There'll be such an outrage that when we try to lock the players out next year, they'll be like, okay, yeah, the Dodgers get everyone. The rules stink. I'm not a conspiracy guy, but it almost seems like that. Because I don't understand how one of these other teams didn't trump that offer. Everyone's reaction was, that's what they got for a guy who's the best pitcher in the last 20 years in baseball? That's what they got? Now, I understand if a team like Philadelphia even were to get Skubal, they're probably not going to lavish him with a $300 million contract. And I understand, so certainly not going to be Milwaukee or Tampa Bay. He was going to go to the Dodgers, however I ended up. They're just paying these three prospects for the right to win this World Series in 2026. So he's going to end up in LA. I know that at the end of the day. But I just would have liked to see any other team say, you know what? It's kind of like the Jim Moore thing or Herm Edwards. You play to win the game.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of these teams play to be good for 2 years down the road, 5 years down the road, not to win the game.
No, dude, I feel you. It's like they're constantly the unknown about the prospects, and the worst are the Phillies. The Phillies are the worst with it. Like, they overvalue their guys. I mean, so much so, and this is what I want to get to with the Phillies, that Alec Bohm is still here, and they've accommodated his bat in the lineup to move him to first. When think about it. Like, what you could have done is just move Stott to third and play Dela Cruz in the outfield.
Yeah, look, by the way, that still easily, to me, still could happen, Anthony, just for the record. I think that could happen. That's what it looks like today, but I could easily see what you just said being the answer tomorrow, so to speak. Look, I do want to talk about the Phillies trade, though. Now, again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know an exorbitant amount about the prospects they gave up, although it does look like, to me, like they gave up, honestly, like good prospect to get Arráez. Like they actually did pay tomorrow to pay for today. But I really like the Arráez move, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah, I do too.
I understand, look, everyone wanted a big hitter. But I would say is, look at all the hitters who were traded. There was no one traded you'd say, holy smokes, this guy was amazing. Arráez, to me, actually, in the postseason, ironically enough, I love this kind of guy. And I say that because how many times do you see a situation where maybe a team, you can't strike out. There's a man on third, one out, right? They bring
you gotta put the ball in play, get the run home.
Right, get the run home, because these games are so tight. I think Arráez, to me, is a incredibly, and I use the word incredibly, and I don't say it lightly, valuable player in the postseason. I think he's a guy that actually is the closest we've seen. He's not nearly as good, I get it, but to Tony Gwynn-like, where he has that kind of back control, doesn't strike out. And, look, he could be on base, so when Schwarber hits a home run, instead of being 1-0, it's 2-0. To me, this was a great move. I understand.
But yeah, my only argument to that, and I love Arráez. Arráez at the top of the order,
I think it's
is terrific. But my argument is, Taylor Ward went for nothing, right? Like, I wanted another right-handed bat, like another one.
I'm not fighting you on that.
Yeah.
I'm not fighting you
Like,
on
in
that.
addition,
I'm
to
agreeing.
like Arráez is great. I'd
Yeah.
rather have him over anybody else. But as a secondary move, I wanted a right-handed bat. At the very least, even more than that, I wanted another starting pitcher.
Well, PG said, Anthony, they ran out of time.
Right.
I mean, Brain, you know this.
I think I've ever heard.
If you think about it, in the playoffs, you're going to need, especially if you're a wild card, you're going to need 4 starters.
Yeah.
So now what you've done is, by not getting Robbie Ray, like I love what the Padres did. They got Robbie Ray and they got Casey
no
Mize.
prospects, and they still got this stuff done.
Right.
The Padres, year after year, have traded all their prospects. Forget Bear. There's not even a cupboard.
Right.
No, and that's where I go to, and I go, if you didn't give me the right-handed bat, all right, whatever. But at least give me the starting pitcher.
They could have used
because
that
if you got Robbie
more than
Ray or
that.
Casey Mize, now you're going to rely on Nola, right? In the playoffs.
I agree with you. They could have used that far more to me than a Taylor Ward, because they could DS their way through the hitting. At least they could put someone out there. When it comes down after Luzardo, Wheeler, and Sanchez pitch for that next guy, do you go to a bullpen game, or do you go like this and just cover your head and put in Nola and just? You wouldn't have had to do that. And I agree with you. Now, I don't know exactly. Again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know exactly what the cost would have been and how prohibitive, et cetera, et cetera. But listen, this is a team that is built to win this year. Who knows how much longer Zach Wheeler is going to be here? I'm just saying, kind of like what I said about Tampa Bay and Milwaukee, Philadelphia to me was the one big market team to me more than any other team that should have been putting their chips on the table, in my opinion.
Exactly. Like, again, and think about this for a second. You know that Nola's vulnerable to left-handed hitters, lefty power, right?
Vulnerable to everyone.
So if you have to face Milwaukee, they got Turang, Yelich, Bowers. You got to face the Cubs, Crow Armstrong, Bush, right? Like, the Dodgers, forget about it, right? Everyone, like these teams, the matchup's not good for Nola. And the issue is you're going to be, I know it's good. A, it's going to be a bullpen game. And B, you could be staring up at a deficit, right? Like it's 3-0. All right, well, he gave you 5 good innings, but the 3 runs early, the home runs kill me. And God forbid there's anybody on base.
Anthony, I agree with you 100%. Listen, to me, I would have gone for either Ray or Mize, whoever costs less. I would have just been like, what's your asking price? Whoever was, I wouldn't even, to me, I value them kind of comparably. I think both have an equal chance to probably performing well in that kind of spot. Ray has a bigger pedigree. Mize has pitched a little bit better this year. Mize a little younger. I would have taken either one and been happy with it. I would have even considered Gausman, but Gausman to me is a guy that I could see him being a quote-unquote better Nola, where he just may not have it anymore. So that one I'll give him a pass on that. But I would have gone for one of the other 2 guys.
Give me Foster Griffin.
Well, I don't think Watson's going to trade him to you.
Huh?
Yeah, they may not trade within the division.
They traded him for nothing, though.
I know.
They got 4 prospects. Only one was in the top 30 of the.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I agree with you. That's a good name, VG. That's a very good name. I agree. I would have taken any of those.
I don't even
3.
like Joe Adell. He went for nothing. He got like the
18th
best prospect they gave up for him
in the playoffs. I'm not going to rip him for that. Joe Adell.
Yeah, I don't like Joe Adell.
I don't like him, but he's a right-handed bat with a little bit of pop.
Until he goes, when he's 1 for 12 in the postseason, you're like, why is this guy playing? I'm not going to kill him on that. Like those guys, I know players like in that ilk are not going to do well against good pitching in the playoffs. But to get VG, I agree with you 100% on the Nationals trade to the Guardians. That's the guy that maybe would have cost less than everything, that easily could be just as good as the names we just said. I would have gone for any of those 3 because they are woefully short a 4-starter. And you can get away with having 4 starters the entire way and be fine with it. Be fine with it. 3s, I think, is a much bigger ask, because then you're going to have to really tax the bullpen. I do find it a little inexcusable they didn't get that 4-starter. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. And, the Nationals are so weird. I just didn't even understand some of their moves. Well, they get this kid, and they just get players. that kid Ortiz, that hit the home run last night. They just called him up. He's good. He's a left-handed power bat. Another one. Like, how do these teams have all these power bats? The Phillies can't get anybody with power.
Anthony, we talked about, remember we were going through about like 2 months ago, we went through the outfielders they drafted. We went through the pitchers they drafted. I feel like, again, not trying to be nasty, you could have taken a newborn infant and had them draft the last 35 years, and it wouldn't be that much different than what we've seen. Like, I just don't understand how they've had so few good homegrown talent players. I feel like, yeah, they had the era of the Utley, Howard, Cole Hamels, Jimmy Rollins, which was as good as good gets. As good as good gets. So I will always give that era like its due because it was the best era in Phillies history. Okay. But I feel like outside of that one era, it's just been like crickets.
Yeah.
And I don't really, what's funny? That's why you look at the Dodgers right now, guys, and they obviously have the best payroll. They obviously have the biggest payroll. They obviously have the best team, but they obviously have the best organization on top of it. Because when you're hearing everyone saying they have the best minor league system, that's something that the Phillies can get. That's something the Rays can get. That's something that San Diego Padres can get. There's nothing that precludes you from having the best organization. You may not have the biggest payroll, but you do have the ability to scout the best, put money into developing young players the best. That's something they've fallen woefully short on.
Yeah.
And there's no excuse.
No excuse.
And the Dodgers, another sneaky move yesterday. You think they're done? Chris Bubich.
I know.
Him coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah, he's always
as
been
a
good
lefty.
when he's healthy.
He's a lefty.
Always good when he's healthy. I would love, this thing being a fly on the wall, guys. I'd love to be a fly on the wall with Dombrowski, what those conversations were, what the true costs were. Because to me, and I couldn't agree with you guys. I'd love to see, again, I know he would never come on the air. I know that. But God, I'd love to see him come on the air and be like, defend yourself. I'll shut up and listen. You needed a fourth starter so badly. Give those 3 names we gave. How can you tell the fan base that's trying to win a World Series when you know all these games are so tight and you need that spot and you're like, you know what? Nope. Let's just let it go to every other team.
Well, I mean, that's the thing.
To shut up and listen.
And to your point, they got 2 prospects that you didn't want to move, right?
I'm not fighting on that.
No, I'm just saying 2. That's all they got. I'm not counting Miller because he hasn't played.
No,
so
I agree.
You got the kid who's 17, Reyes, and you got Gage Wood, right?
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else? You couldn't move Dante Nori?
I don't get it.
Right. He's higher than half the prospects that moved yesterday.
I don't
you're
get it.
projecting another lefty slap guy?
Again, to me, I go back to the old Herman Edwards comments. You play to win the game. Yeah. The Phillies, what they did is they stuck 1 foot in the pool. Should I go in? Yeah, I'm going, oh, you know what? It's a little chilly. I'm not sure. What do you think, Mom, Dad? Should I go in? Either you go in or you don't go in. I hate sticking 1 foot in the pool.
Yeah, it's
and
the
that's
worst.
what they did.
All right, I want to switch gears to football.
I like Arraez. I think he's going to help a lot. Just couldn't agree with you more on that. I'll give him a pass on the Taylor Ward thing. The 4th starter, inexcusable, can't be defended.
Yeah. All right, let's switch gears with you. I want to start our series of football because over the month we're going to cover everything when it comes to football. I want to ask you: have you identified players? Because you're such a fantasy guy, you'll be in 40 fantasy leagues or whatever. Have you identified risers that to look out for this year? Guys that you circle that you think are poised to have a big year.
Yeah, and again, this first thing I'm going to get you may want to put your head muffins on your ear or something and just not listen to me. But one of the better ways to do this, guys, in my opinion, is you look at the Las Vegas, when Bet Parks posts these lines, every guy's over under. This is one of my favorite inefficiencies. Last year, my favorite inefficiency I saw was Jonathan Taylor to be drafted ahead of Ashton Genty because Genty was going 6 and 7. Taylor was going into the 2nd round. Yet Taylor's over under was 400 yards higher. Made no sense. I'm going to stick with the same player. Ashton Genty is still going in the 1st round, going 10, 11, 12. Guys like Kenneth Walker, Omarion Hampton, all these guys are going in the same area, those 3 guys. Javonte Williams has a higher over-under for rushing yards and by far the highest over-under for touchdowns of these guys. He's going in the 4th round. Those other guys are going in the 1-2 turn. It makes so little sense.
Yeah. And here's the other thing, and I agree with you. Because of their passing game, he's going to get space to run.
This is idiot proof. This has nothing to do with if he's good or not. Like people mistake, oh, you think Javonte Williams is some great player. Running backs a lot of times, now I'm not talking Saquon Barkley like he was 2 years ago. I mean, but a lot of times it's like a closer in baseball. An average closer can get 30 saves. Doesn't mean he's good. There's so many running backs that could just come in and be decent. Look, freaking Tank Bigsby came in and outperformed Barkley, and Tank Bigsby was an afterthought. You don't need to be great, but if you have a great situation, right? Dallas is a team, the last 4 years, Dak's been healthy, been top 3 in the league in scoring. They're going to score touchdowns. What's that mean? Is it going to be a passing touchdown to Lamb or Pickens? Or are they going to get tackled, or Ferguson are going to be tackled at the 2-yard line, and then they give it to Javonte? I bet Javonte at 18-1 odds to lead the league in touchdowns. I think it's a great bet. He'd be my pick. And where he's going in the 4th round to me is such insane value. It makes no sense.
Are you counting like receiving yards and yards, or just a touchdown only league?
No. He's not a great receiver, but Kenneth Walker's not a great receiver. Marion Hampton's not a great receiver.
But Andy's creative with Kenneth Walker. He could have a big year with Andy, I think.
Andy has never used his primary guy as like that. He used kind of Westbrook as the receiving guy. Then he used McKinnon. I don't know if he's going to do it with Walker or not. Walker has not really been the receiver. Maybe he can be. I'm just saying, again, I won't look. What's his Javonte's over under for total yards is higher than Walker. His touchdown total is higher than Walker. And he goes 2 rounds later than Walker. And I will bet anyone who wants to make this bet, I will take Javonte Williams to outscore Kenneth Walker in fantasy. I'll make that bet. And I'm taking a guy that theoretically is based on the, I think it's like probably a 2.5 to 1 underdog. But I feel strongly that Javonte is in the best situation of anyone. And he's going to score. Touchdowns is the most important thing, VG, right? Because that's worth 60 yards. So if Walker gets, let's say, 6 touchdowns and Javonte gets 14, well, I don't know how. I don't see the path for Walker to make up that extra 500 yards or so. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. He's one of my favorite guys. You don't have to agree with it, but I think
I agree.
Really
I do agree with it. I could say it. How about
I'll give you,
Seattle's backfield? Because that's an interesting backfield.
Well, it's funny you should say that, Andy. I was just about to talk about it. I think, listen, Seattle, look, Charbonnet suffered the torn ACL. I think he's going to miss at least 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Price is a good deal where he's going in like the 6th round. He was their 1st round pick. He's on a good team, a team that doesn't pass the ball a zillion times. I think Price is a pretty good value where he's going.
I agree.
Again, he has the opportunity and he has the draft capital. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know that Jadarian Price is some great player, but again, it's not about being great.
I'll be honest with you, I loved him in college.
He was great. He played really well.
But like I think he's a good NFL player. I'm a big Price fan.
They agree with you. I'm going to give you 2 other guys in that area, guys that are going like the 7th round, 8th round, 9th round, that I think potentially have value. One, you know what's funny? This guy, I think Anthony has the 2nd highest yards per carry in the history of the NFL. J.K. Dobbins, who's still not even old.
Yeah.
He's just been incredibly injured. Now, again, you may say you may only get 8 weeks out of the guy. He says his goal is to lead the NFL in rushing. He's still just really good when he plays. He's not going high. So it's like you're getting him. If he misses time, it's not like you're investing a crazy amount. And look, Kenneth Gainwell got paid. I think he's going to play more than Bucky Irving. And he's going like 3 rounds later than Bucky Irving. I'll make a gentleman's bet he outscores Bucky Irving. I think he's a value. I think Kenneth Gainwell is always one of those guys.
Something's up with Bucky Irving. But I was a huge Bucky Irving fan.
Same.
And I heard some things. Like I think
something. Yeah, not good.
Yeah,
not good.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
But Gainwell,
I like Devonta Smith,
here's
by
the
the
thing
way.
about Kenny Gainwell.
Yeah.
And the Steelers showed you, he catches the ball out of the backfield.
PPR leagues, that's huge. I like Devonta Smith quite a bit, Anthony. He's going in the 3rd round. I think Devonta Smith easily can be in the CeeDee Lamb category, and he's going again 2 rounds later. His games without A.J. Brown, he was, I believe, the 2nd highest scoring player after Puka Nacua. I know it's not as simple as that. It's not going to be as easy as that, but I think he's a really good player that can easily step up and do it. I think Dallas Goedert here, and also in Philadelphia, he's an underrated tight end. I think he's a clear red zone target. He's like the 17th tight end drafted.
Dude, I don't even understand that. Like, Goddard is going to get, and in this offense, which is tight end friendly, Goddard's going to have a big year if he stays healthy.
Again, Goddard's one of my favorite late round picks, getting no respect, and he's a guy that I think absolutely will be good. And I think Devonta Smith again could easily earn 1st round value going in the 3rd round. By the way, guys, I have to say this. It just made me laugh. I don't know if you remember this when I went on my, and I should try shut up, but I went on my Jalen Hurts rant. I said, you know what, guys? I go, my comp to him is Bo Nix. Take that however you want. You can laugh me out of the building. The Athletic posted a thing today. Out of 35 NFL head coaches and general managers, they ranked the quarterbacks. Bo Nix and Jalen Hurts were right next to each other. I just smiled. I'm like, yeah, I think that's fair. That's exactly where again, I'm not the only schmuck, I guess, who actually put him in that category. I just had to say that because I used that name.
Yeah,
and that's all I got to say.
What was your story? They ranked.
They listed 35 NFL general managers, coaches, and scouts. Okay. He was, I think, the number 19 quarterback in the NFL, and I think Nix was 18. And that's exactly where I put him. By the way, that was the exact area I put him. Was right in that spot. But I know some people in Philadelphia are like, oh, he's top 5. And I'm like, I hope he is. But I don't know if that's fair. But again, I'm not trying to go on an anti.
Yeah, I know. I got you.
Hope he's great. But Bo Nix was the guy I compared him to, and that's what just made me laugh. They were right next to each other on the thing.
All right, what do you got tonight? Last thing.
Guys, 2 things. Anthony, remember I was on your show the other week, and I said when Sanchez for the Phillies went against the Orioles, I go, look, not the numbers bad, but against Baz, it was a game they just needed. I just felt like Sanchez would come up big, and he pitched a shutout, and they got him the win. Tariq Skubal, first game for the Dodgers today. I'm not going to lay minus 230, but I did lay -0.5, minus 132 in the 5-inning line against a bad Javier Assad. I'm expecting Skubal first game to pitch well, show well for the Dodgers. I expect him to allow 0 runs, honestly, through 5 innings. I think the Cubs will score. I think it'll be 3-0 Dodgers, 4-0 Dodgers through 5. Don't want to lay the 220. I'll rather lay $1.30ish that I lay a half run. They do it. And then last thing, you talked about Logan Henderson, guys. Logan Henderson has been dominant. Absolutely dominant.
Yeah.
His last 26 innings, only allowed 15 hits. Last 31 innings, he's only allowed 7 runs. And he's going against Jared Jones, who his last 27 innings has only allowed 11 hits. I took under 4.5 runs from the 5-inning line there, guys. I say that game's going to be 1-0 through 5. I think there's a lot of room, a lot of ways to get there, taking under 4.5.
Yeah, with you. Yeah, I think Phillies bomb Washington tonight.
I agree. Numbers, like VG said, that to me, again, if I did it, I would probably just do the run line or lay a run line less. I just, when I'm wrong on those games, it just is so painful. But I agree. It seems like this should be like a 7-3 Phillies kind of win.
Yeah. My brother, great stuff, buddy. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys both. Yeah.
The
I appreciate it. Be good, guys.
Brain. All right, we'll come back.
It's hard to believe Dodgers are still plus 155 to win the World Series. I know it's baseball,
yeah,
but still.
That's tough, man. I mean,
it's hard not to throw like $50 on that at least.
Yeah, you're not getting enough return to have to go through, multiple series.
It just feels like free money. When I go to my bank and I look at the return on the CD investment, it's like 0.02%, and this seems like, pretty good money back for $50 to wait 3 months.
Yeah, but I can't go. I mean, listen,
I can't do it because I can't root for them.
Well, no, I just don't think. I don't think it's. This baseball, so much can happen, and that's just not enough return. All right, we'll come back. We'll talk to Bo, our Eagles training camp report. Bo is on the clock. First, a word from our friends.
For the past 30 years, Golden Nugget Jewelers has operated out of the very same location in the heart of Philadelphia. Customers from across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, even Baltimore, New York City have come to Golden Nugget Jewelers to find that perfect engagement ring, wedding band, or gift. Their staff is highly trained and dedicated to providing a personalized experience. I've gone there a couple of times. I had to replace a diamond in a ring. I had to get a necklace. They're not pushy. The staff is super informative. It's just a great shopping experience. They have a vast selection of engagement rings and wedding bands, along with high-end watches, fashion jewelry, sparkling diamond necklaces, bracelets, earrings, and everything else you could think of. You receive a final cleaning and written appraisal with every engagement ring purchase. And Golden Nugget Jewelers, they're family-owned. They've been operating since 1987, right there on Chestnut Street at 8th in downtown Philadelphia. You deserve an expert, and you deserve the best price. Golden Nugget Jeweler, where Philly gets engaged. Visit goldennuggetjewelry.com. Let's talk about Ace Hardware Home Services. They're so important this time of year. Heat and humidity sneaking in. The AC might not be cranking like it should. And the temperatures are changing. It's getting warmer, so don't worry. If you got issues, Ace Hardware Home Services, they got you covered. From AC repairs to water heaters, plumbing, electrical, they're trusted pros that bring the same helpful service you know from the Ace stores right to your home, right to your front door, from Philly to the Jersey Shore. And it's important. They got the right people. They bring the right tools, the right know-how. They got everything you need. So whether it's a quick fix or a big summer project, they've got all the tools. They've got the know-how. Then the people to get the job done right. You see their trucks all around town. All your neighbors are using them. Ace Hardware Home Services, they're bringing the helpful to your home. It's that helpful you love from the store right to your home. So visit acehardwarehomeservices.com today to get started on your next home repair project.
Our man on the ground, he's solid and sound. He's on the hunt for Eagles news. Handsome and astounds, clever and profound. We're talking Eagles with Bo Wulf.
Inside the Nest, brought to us by Rita's. Be cool, go to Rita's. And here he is. Oh, look at him. Speaking of cool, it doesn't get cooler
Super Trooper
than
glasses.
Bo Wulf on the Xfinity mobile call-in line.
How we doing, everybody? We got some pads on. We got some football today.
Look at it. Looks great. What a great, I love it. Oh, man. That's fantastic. All right. Let's go over yesterday, and then let's talk a little special teams before we get to the news of the day.
Sure.
So what happened yesterday? What was your takeaway?
So yesterday, now I was on the Phillies show, so I was not able to watch practice yesterday, but the report from Fran and EJ in the bubble is that Jalen Hurts was on fire yesterday. He was making it rain. Fran called it the best day of practice he's ever seen Jalen Hurts have. Had a nice touchdown pass to Elijah Moore after throwing an interception, a bunch of other deep throws. And what's important to keep in mind for the context of yesterday is that yesterday was a review day for the offense. So while most of these days of practice are installs, they're putting in plays for the first time. Yesterday was them running plays they've already repped before. And guess what? That's what they're going to do in the season. They're going to be more comfortable with the plays they're running. And so it's instructive to see that Jalen's best day with this new offense came when they were running stuff that they've already run before.
Yeah, that's huge, man. It shows you that it's beginning to click for him. That's what
I agree.
That's what's so big for review days. That's why they look at it and go, all right, well, starting to get it. Like you, and it's all, and you know this better than anybody, Bo. It's all about repetition. That's what it is. It's repetition. That's why they call it practice.
We talked about this on the show yesterday. There's this narrative that has coalesced early in camp that like the defense is way ahead of the offense. I don't agree with that at all.
Really?
I think the offense is way ahead of schedule from what we would have expected in a brand new offense, them doing things that they haven't really done before. They've taken a huge leap since the spring. There have been 4 days of practice so far, and the offense has like decisively won 2 of the days. And the other days, they have still moved the ball at times, much more so than they did at times when they were slogging through last year. I think the indications of what I've seen from this offense are overwhelmingly positive, given what our expectations should have been.
Oh man, I gotta tell you, I love that. The fact that you think the offense is because I heard the same. I mean, I just heard it. I've been down there. You've seen it. I trust your eyes behind those glasses. I trust them, and yeah, look, the fact I think people, I don't know what their expectation is when they watch this. Like, you understand what practice is. Like, what this, when you're installing an offense, a dramatically new offense, it takes time, man. Like, I don't know what you're looking for.
And there's a reader. I mean, there's a reader comprehension issue here, and maybe it's more on the reporting itself. But you have to contextualize what's happening in practice. Like, for instance, Saturday's practice was a third down day. Like, all they're doing is running third and long. The offense is in a tough position, and they didn't have the most productive day, but that's because they're being put in those.
Yeah, it's because third down. Like, it's hard to convert third down in the league.
It's third and long. Of course, they're not going to convert every play, and they're also not moving the ball. You know what I mean? If they get a first down, guess what? They put the ball back in third and long. That's how practice works.
Yeah, that's why, like, I don't know. Sometimes some of this stuff's inane. Covering it, like, I love it, and I love all the, I love this and watch, and I love you guys, but, like, it's got to be translated correctly, or else, like, you guys,
I agree.
Like, that otherwise camp is completely misleading.
That's why you got to watch the PHLY Eagles show every day at 2:00 and find out what's actually happening on the field.
I love that PHLY Eagles show. Hey, Jalen Hunt has dominated, huh? Like, everybody's been talking about him. Popping.
He have. Now, listen, I don't like to pat myself on the back often. Only, 3 times a show or so.
Every opportunity possible.
Only every opportunity possible. But, I have been pumping up Jalen Hunt all offseason. I think that there's a possibility that, we talk about him at the end of this season in the same breath as Quinyon and Cooper DeJean and Jalen Carter as the guys who are the building blocks of a dominant defense for years to come, guys in their prime. Jalen was already ahead of schedule, given what your expectations were for him early in his career. He led the team in sacks last year with only 6.5. He also led the team in interceptions. The numbers under the hood are even better than that. His quarterback hit rate last season was like third best in the league behind Zach Allen and Nick Benito, I think. The guy was already really good, and he looks even better. He's bulkier. He's quicker. He has had stretches of ruining practice. And it's not just come against Fred Johnson. It also came against Jordan Mailata. I am really, really bullish on Jalen Hunt this season.
Wow, I'm excited.
Yeah,
I really am, because I thought the same thing.
Hold on a second. Look, we got Mike Gansey. There he is.
Oh man,
look
there
at
he
that. How we hosting Mike? Genius and genius.
I'm grateful for LeBron, but I'm still mad about that Wake Forest game.
Hey, Bo, how are the safeties looking?
Fair question. And I would say that safeties and linebackers are the most difficult positions to actually evaluate in a training camp practice setting because they're not tackling, so you don't actually see them finish these plays. Mukuba looks okay. My expectations for him are not like super high, but he looks like he's going to be able to hold down that second starting job. And I think Marcus Epps looks pretty good. Now, Michael Carter II is pushing him a little bit, but I would be surprised, barring an outside addition, if Marcus Epps is not the starter there. And then in base, you got Cooper DeJean. So, I am more worried about Mukuba being good enough to be the top safety than I am finding a capable number 2 safety, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. I guess you got a little educational on special teams this morning, huh? Little update?
Yeah, not a ton going on for Mike McClay this morning. He was asked about, he said in the spring that it was important for Jake Elliott to fall back in love with the game, and if there was any indication that he had not, or they had fallen out of love in the game last season. And he said he was just going off of, body language and conversations with Jake. He just wants him to approach the game like he's a badass MFer who, helped the team win 2 Super Bowls and have regained that confidence. And I think he says that Jake is on his way to doing that. Not a ton else going on. Rocco Underwood is your rookie long snapper. We'll see what happens in games. And then it's tough because there's guys just asking questions to hear themselves talk when it's a special teams press conference. And so there were like 3 questions about Rocco Underwood. What is Michael play guy? So
yeah. I mean, again, I mean, they should be all right. Elliott, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't think Love was the issue and why he missed kicks.
Yeah, I think he was injured to some degree. And then there's a thing about kickers where the older they get, they've got a little bit less of that leg whip, right? And they got to change their mechanics a little bit, and that sometimes can mean they spray the ball a little.
Yeah, what's the schedule this week? I'm curious. Like, what do you?
We're unloaded. So Pavs today, they are practicing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday this week. So no practice Thursday. It's the only day with no practice. So we're gonna have no show Thursday because we're gonna have a full show on Saturday because that's supposed to be a padded practice as well. So the show schedule: 2:00 today, Wednesday, Friday, 3:00 Saturday. But this is going to be a big, heavy week for them practice-wise.
Yeah, I listen. It gets real when the pads are on. Like,
yeah, this is it. This is the first day of football.
You know what I mean? It's real when the pads are on. Honestly, everything else, the shorts, it's a glorified walkthrough.
Yeah, I want to watch a line of scrimmage today. Jalix has had a good start to camp, but let's see what happens with the pads on. I want to see these offensive linemen. They need a little bit of help depth-wise, so I want to see if anybody pops there. Backup defensive line as well. Who's going to be that number 3 edge rusher while Bernard is out? I want to see those guys, and I want to see the linebackers too.
Is anything new with Lane?
I have not heard anything on Lane, and we haven't gotten the practice report yet, so I don't know if he's out here today.
Have you seen him?
I have not, but I've been over here with you.
Yeah. No. I get it. I'm curious. I mean, he's got to get right.
Kelsey and Bo Allen for you, by the way.
Oh, all the stars are there.
Yeah.
All the stars are everywhere. Bo Wulf.
It's the place to be.
Kelsey.
Place to be.
Gansey. All the stars are out at Eagles practice. Nothing better. Bo, the best. We'll be watching 2:00. Cannot wait, buddy.
Thanks, fellas.
Thanks, brother. Here he is. Bo Wulf. Live at the Jefferson Health.
He looks good with the Super Trooper shades on.
You know who else is at practice?
No.
Meg is at practice.
Oh, nice. It is all the stars out.
All right. So our friend Meg Kane is at practice. And also at practice, Ben.
Oh, yeah.
Ben, social media Ben, is at practice.
All right.
Right?
Yeah.
And he's getting footage. Like good stuff.
Okay.
So Meg saw him, and she said, "Are you afraid with all the birds here?"
Someone needs to go up to him and say, like, cute shirt, Ben.
How great. How great.
Yeah.
Gansey. No, the fact that Gansey's there, it's like you want to talk about the toast of the town.
Oh, yes. Him being it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like the new flavor?
Oh, yeah.
Coming in strong. In fact, did you see last night Jaylen Brown on the stream, on the Twitch?
I did see them on the stream.
All right, I want to show you guys because I love that Jaylen Brown's already talking title.
I love it. Well, you got a winner in town. You got a champion in town.
Like, he's talking title.
Yes.
Like, this is great.
That's what this franchise is needed.
That's great. By the way, Bo said no Lane today.
Yeah, it's non-football related.
Yeah, still no Lane today. All right. But here is Jaylen Brown. You got it?
Oh, I just put in that text group message. Oh, I didn't see that.
No worries. You just let me know when it's ready. But Jaylen Brown said also did you see what that it's on at the wedding?
What?
Did you see about this?
What wedding?
All right.
What's on?
So, was that? Okay,
Julia's wedding?
No, not Julia's wedding. So there was what's his face from Brunson they're at this wedding. I forget who it was, the NBA player, but Brunson's there and Jaylen Brown's there.
Oh wow!
And Brunson was staring him down.
What?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. Stare down piece.
oh man.
Yeah.
That means he's nervous.
Well, he stared him down like it's on.
He's nervous.
That Sixers-Knicks is going to be one of the greatest rivalries all year.
Oh, it's Donovan Mitchell's wedding.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Yeah, let's go.
It's going to be one of the greatest.
Give us the opening night.
I can't wait. Opening night, Sixers-Knicks.
Oh, Sixers-Knicks. Yes.
TNT.
Yes.
Let's go. Or whatever it is, NBC.
Any one of them.
Because our friends at NBC have it. All right. First, take a look at Jaylen Brown talking title on Twitch.
You can't make this shit up. You next though.
Who?
I told VJ, Max, LeBron, and Embiid. And you can ask him. I told VJ, LeBron, Max, and Embiid, we win the championship, everybody going skydiving. Brian texted me back and said, boy, hell no.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, crazy. It's nothing in this world can get me to skydive. Y'all tripping.
How great is that?
Dude, I may have been wrong. I think I love those black Sixers uniforms.
They look great. I like, dude, not for nothing.
I think I love them.
First of all,
everyone was right.
Underrated now. Like, here's what Jaylen Brown. He's doing his stream and he's wearing his jersey.
Oh, he made a whole thing about putting it on. He's put it on for the first time.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Jaylen Brown is putting on the jersey.
We got a little swagger.
And he loves the jersey.
Yeah, it looks
like
good on him.
He looks great on.
Yeah.
Like he's loving it.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is, could you imagine him being skydiving? Of all things.
Can you skydive at that size?
Right.
Yeah, that's
like the last thing he would need is to hit the ground. He does like to hit the ground and roll.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's good. That would work. But everything else about that it'd be no good.
Not good at all. You have to land in water. Water would have to be ready for Embiid. I wish I could do the Conklin impersonation of his voice. Like, as he comes out of the airplane. Like,
Paulo.
LeBron's just like, hell nah.
Yeah.
No chance, dude.
It was kind of interesting, not to read into it, but he refers to Tyrese as Tyrese, LeBron as LeBron, and Joel as Embiid. He went first name,
and
VJ.
even VJ.
Yeah.
And Embiid. Huh.
Kind of interesting. I think, and remember the social media thing with Jaylen Brown and Bron posting the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Which was certainly a message to Joel.
Yeah, about work hard means we're with you and not against you like that.
Yeah.
The fact that they got this group text chain and they're talking championships.
I love the text chain.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Fantastic. All right. We're going to have Corey in just a moment to kind of get his view. He was down there.
Make me feel better, hopefully.
And Corey will kind of translate the deadline and kind of go through it all with Corey, and then Murph will join us a little bit later on. There was a mix-up.
Are we sure?
At the time.
We sure Murph's coming?
Murph will be ready.
All right.
I got faith in Murph.
All right, Murph.
All right. First, a word from our friends. All right, let's talk about the Bet Park Sportsbook online, and it's all about futures, right? Because training camp is underway. Perfect time to make the futures waiver right here. Favorites, the Rams, then the Ravens, I don't get. Then Buffalo. $25 of the Birds pays back $4.25.
I'm all in.
That's healthy.
Jalen Hurts MVP, 30-1.
I mean, that's a Devontae. How about a big Devontae over his receiving yards? Brain likes that.
Mm-hmm.
Bet Park Sportsbook has it all, by the way. Your favorite classic casino games are on your phone. All the hot slots. New users get $500 bonus back. Plus 250 spins on the hot online slot game. The new one, Sahara's Riches.
Ooh, I'm going to check that
All
out.
right. Sahara's Riches.
Desert action.
Yes, betparks.com. That's all the details. Desert action. You got to be 21 in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Now let's talk about TrueMark and our good friends at TrueMark Credit Union. You want to talk about a great financial institution? I urge you to check out TrueMark Credit Union. You know, one of the things about the credit union is that the customers own it, right? It's run by the customers. It's the ownership is with the customers, and it gives you all the benefits of any financial institution, and you got great kinds of perks, all kinds, every little thing. They even have this Everyday Elite Visa credit card from TrueMark. We're talking up to 4% cash back on eligible everyday purchases, including gas, takeout, food, you name it, for a limited time. New cardholders get a 0% introductory APR on purchases for the first 12 months, and then 17.99% APR after that. More cash back, less catch. Apply today, TrueMark.com, or you can stop by any of TrueMark Credit Union's 24 branch locations. Rates based on credit worthiness, 4% cash back on eligible purchases. Bonus categories capped annually. Restrictions apply. Visit TrueMark.com for details. Insured by the NCUA. Now, let's get our Phillies insider, because it's the deadline. They made the news.
He's rational. Let's see what he thinks.
Very good baseball man. Great baseball man who is rational. Sans emotion, unlike you.
Yes.
That came in as you were like John.
I don't feel good. I need
Morose.
Yeah. Yes.
You were morose.
Yeah.
You were John Morose this morning. I get it. I don't really love it, but let's kind of tackle it with Corey. Love Arráez, like the bullpen pieces, needed a little more. But let's see what Corey has to say.
He's the man. This farmer's Corey Simon. Corey Simon.
There he is on the Xfinity Mobile calling line. What do you say, Core?
Because it's been an eventful 24 hours, or I guess it's been an uneventful 24 hours, because when I was with you yesterday, the Phillies made their moves, and who would have thought that that would be pretty much it for the day?
Yeah, and that's what's got my man over here, morose, over no starting pitcher, no right-handed bat. So let's go 50,000 foot and kind of what you see, and then let's dive into all the position changes and everything else.
My overall read of how yesterday went for the Phillies is that they just could not entice other teams to want their like number 5 through 10 prospects. I think that's really what it boils down to, that, you know, they were having a bunch of conversations about starting pitchers, but, you know, if you look at what other teams, the offers they accepted, they obviously valued the other team's prospects more than the Phillies. Once the Phillies traded away Ramon Marquez early in the day, it's almost like that was their best trade chip. If they were not going to be willing to part with a Gage Wood or a Francisco Renteria or a Painter or Crawford or Aiden Miller for a short-term rental player. And the Arun Escobar tier, or like Cade Obermueller, a recent high pick, that wasn't enough to get a team to want to part with their veteran talent. So I just think that's what this deadline boiled down to, that other teams took other offers up against the deadline. Like we saw like the Casey Mize of the Padres, that trickled out right after 6 p.m.
This is my question to you. The Padres, who traded away all their prospects that were pretty barren, somehow landed Mize and Robbie Ray. Like, the Phillies couldn't beat that?
Well, the Padres traded away some decent prospects to get them. It was like a surprising deadline for them because they, again, under A.J. Preller, were aggressive and make more like quote-unquote all-in moves to win now. I mean, the Giants accepting the Padres' offer for Robbie Ray and the Tigers accepting their offer for Casey Mize tells you that they valued those offers more than what the Phillies were willing to part with, because the Phillies had conversations about both of those guys, Ray and Mize. And, you know, it was telling to me, Dave Dombrowski, yesterday, there were a couple quotes that were telling. One of them was that in trying to explain away not getting a starting pitcher, he said, well, if you look at these very specific metrics, Aaron Nola is actually the 75th best pitcher in Major League Baseball. It's like, are we serious right now? Really? So if you look at a specific set of stats, Aaron Nola is actually 75th best. That's first. The second thing is in talking about Alec Bohm, the quote about how, a scout made this comment to Dombrowski that when you see a guy every day, you start to focus on his flaws. But if you actually look at the landscape, Bohm has 60 RBIs, 13, 40. Yeah, and he also ranks 150th out of 158 players in on-base percentage. And he ranks 136th out of 158 players in slugging percentage. And he's now 30 years old, and he's a free agent after the season that you have no obligation or ties to. So
he's talking to us like we have no access to our own information and stats. Like we can't look this stuff up on ourselves. And if you got to extrapolate, he went further with Aaron Nola, basically saying, well, he's 70th in metrics, and there's 30 teams. If you divide it by 30, he's basically a 2, borderline 3 on most teams. Like he's talking to us like we're idiots.
The thing is, though, is that does it matter if, like, based on that, Aaron Nola is a 2.5 or 3.5, which he's not. Like, first off, he's not. Right. I mean, he's 10 of his last 13 starts, he's allowed 3 runs or less, Nola, but he has like a 5 ERA during that span. So he is what he is. He's a number 4, number 5 starter. And it doesn't even matter.
Can I ask you a question about Nola?
Yeah, sure.
Where does this 28 home runs allowed in 120 innings rank? Can you ask Dave that?
And it probably ranks toward the bottom of baseball. I mean, that home run ratio has got to be one of the worst in baseball. Yeah.
If he actually pitched, he would give up 50. I mean, are you kidding me?
And it's important because
score.
And he might have to start game 1 of an NLDS if the Phillies get there. Because if you get to a wild card series and you have to get through all 3 games, it's going to be Wheeler, Sanchez, Luzardo. And then who's starting game 1 of the playoffs, the NLDS for you? It's going to be some combination of either Nola, Painter, or an opener.
Or Painter. You imagine Painter in a playoff
game? God. Come on. I mean, stop. I mean, think about, like, if you got to play the Brewers in the division series. And think about Turang, Yelich, Bowers, what those lefties would do. I mean, it's 4-0 going in the third.
And before you even get there, think about the wild card series, because the Phillies' likeliest wild card opponent is the Cubs, and the Cubs did a lot of work over the last couple of days. They got Kevin Gausman, they got Clay Holmes, and they're red hot. I mean, if you face the Cubs in the wild card round, for example, you're probably facing Shota Imanaga, a lefty in game 1. You're probably facing Matthew Boyd, a lefty in game 2. If it gets to a game 3, you're against Kevin Gausman. Those are going to be tough games for the Phillies offense to win, even if you have Wheeler and Sanchez on the mound. I mean, honestly, looking at it, the Braves might be the best wild card opponent for the Phillies because they have Chris Sale and pretty much nothing else in their rotation. They also didn't address their rotation yesterday, and their fans are upset about it too. With the Phillies, though, I don't think that this was a matter of them having so much confidence in Nola and Painter. I think it was them not being able to get a deal done right up against the deadline. And that might come back to bite them. I mean, it's come back to bite them to this point in the season. They didn't address starting pitching depth over the offseason, and it's a major reason why they're 5-22 in games out of that 5 spot.
Yeah, and again now, look, you're not going to catch the Braves without adding a 5th starter. So you're not going to catch them. They're 7.5 up on you. It looks like, I mean, Arizona, I don't really buy. Like you're looking up at Arizona. I don't really buy them. The Cubs, like we agree. I don't think the Marlins got enough to catch it, and they just traded their catcher away. But the Padres, like, I don't want to face the Padres either in a wild card. Because now that they got Ray, I don't know that they're like an easy opponent either.
I just think that if you're looking at it now, if the Phillies are going to get in, it's going to be as the 2nd or 3rd wild card. And so the top wild card team's most likely going to be the Cubs, and the 3rd best division winner is most likely going to be the Braves. So that's one of the teams you're facing up front. It's the Cubs or Braves. And then if you get past them, then you have the benefit of then facing the Brewers or the Dodgers. So you're going to need to get past all of those teams come playoff time, and you're even more left-handed today than you were yesterday. I mean, I still don't care too much about the Arráez component of that, but I do care about it with the rest of the lineup. Brandon Marsh is still left-handed. Bryson Stott is still left-handed. And I guess my other big picture thought coming out of yesterday was, with all this positional stuff, like, how is it possible that this is the answer? That this is the answer with Alec Bohm shifting to first base. Like, why wasn't the answer to keep Bryce Harper at first base and get a right fielder? Whether that was Lane Thomas or Taylor Ward or Joe Adell. Like, there's a chance that Brian De La Cruz rest of season is the same hitter as Joe Adell, sure. But to be moving everybody around to placate Alec Bohm? Really? I just can't believe it.
I've said the same exact thing that you just said earlier. Say, like, you're switching all these positions for Bohm. Like, honestly, I'd rather have Dela Cruz play than Bohm.
And that might happen. That might happen, honestly. Like there's all this talk about how Harper's going to play right field and he's going to go out and do that, but it wouldn't shock me if there are days where Harper's DHing and Schwarber's at first base and Bohm's on the bench and De La Cruz is in right field, or Schwarber's in left field and the outfield arrangement is altered that way. It's so strange to me that they continue to be so beholden to Bohm. I mean, maybe some of it is due to the off-field stuff that he's going through this year and they don't want to cut ties with him during such a difficult portion of his life, but you're also in a win now year where you need to try to like win a World Series at some point, and this might be your best shot over the next handful of seasons.
I mean, look, cut ties. Like, just put him on the bench. Nobody's saying you got to release him.
Right. Up until this point, I could see maybe you play him enough that someone will take him in a trade. But now there's no point. There's no incentive to play him right now. Like, you're not. He's leaving after this year.
When I was on with you guys yesterday and the Phillies traded for Arráez, that's what I thought. I mean, I thought that it was going to result in Bohm moving to the bench. I did not see coming that they were going to make all of these defensive switches, make an already bad defense worse, while just making almost like a modest upgrade to the offense. Like Arráez will help, but we all agree that there's still a lot of holes in this lineup from the 5 spot on down. Like if you format the top of the lineup, Arráez 1, Turner 2, Harper 3, Schwarber 4, it's a really good top 4. What about after that? Then it's Bohm, Marsh, a slumping Marsh. I mean, Stott's been pretty hot lately. Derek Hill's been playing over his head, which has been necessary for the Phillies to win some games here. But I just see a team that went like halfway in again. They went halfway in. They got a couple relievers who can help and a big batting average bat. But like if a week ago we said this would be the totality of the Phillies deadline, I think a lot of people would probably be overall disappointed that a couple holes weren't filled.
And like Anthony's right. Foster Griffin went for nothing. Maybe they didn't want to trade up in the division, but they got the 25th best prospect out of the club. Like, so the Phillies offer them their 18th best prospect. I mean, it's a substantially better deal. I don't understand how they did nothing after we got off the show.
And the Phillies had been connected to Foster Griffin in the days leading up to the deadline. I'm sure they had conversations with the Nationals front office about that move. Again, though, it just comes back to, I guess, their prospects. You know, a week or two ago, the Phillies front office, like Preston Mattingly and Dave Dombrowski, both made variations of the comment that, you know, we like our prospects. We've been getting calls about a lot of our prospects, and there are other teams that are interested in a lot of those guys. That was either just pure lip service or, yeah, they were interested, but not interested enough.
There's a switchboard lighting up for Alex Ronhell.
I mean, give me a break. I mean, like, he's nauseating. He's infuriating. He just,
and Tommy Pham, don't forget, he mentioned him. We got him, too, to bring up, too, anytime we need him.
Yeah, one of the most hated guys in baseball. Again, Harper is a good defensive first baseman. I don't know. People say he's not. I think he's a good defensive first baseman. I don't know what Bohm's going to be. I mean, any idea what Bohm's going to be at first? And then, like, I don't know what Stott's going to be at third. Like, I love his glove, but, you know, second and third's a big deal. Like, I can't believe the hoops in which they are jumping through.
And that's why, like, all day yesterday, my thought process was there had to be another big thing coming. Like, the white whale to me yesterday would have been, can you get Pete Alonso? I mean, the Orioles are selling. Can you get Pete? Then all of this would make sense. Okay, that's a guy you move Harper to the right field for. Alec Bohm is not a guy you move Harper to right field for.
No, it's a power position. You don't have any power there. Come on.
In terms of Bohm defensively at first base, I mean, he has like 1,000 innings at the big league level under his belt at first, so he has experience there. I think he'll probably be neutral to what Harper was this year, because Harper, like when he first got to first base, we were all pretty impressed defensively. But this year there have been, you know, some like cracks there. There was a play a week ago in Miami, for example, in the 9th inning where Otto Lopez hit like a hot shot down the first baseline, and a lot of top tier defensive first basemen make that diving play, went under Harper's glove. That's kind of like an example.
He made two nice plays last night.
Yeah, and he still is like a probably a average or slightly above average defensive first baseman. Bohm, you would think, is going to be a slight downgrade from Harper to Bohm at first base. At third base, Stott, even if he needs to get adjusted to the position, you'd still figure he's going to have more range than Bohm. It really is going to come down to consistency of the throws, because it's a much different throw. The big unknown is what Harper gives you in right field. Is he able to let it rip? Is he able to throw a guy out at the plate? Does running around and tracking fly balls in the outfield, does it affect him physically? Those are all big questions. And the Phillies already though had by far the worst defense in like totality in baseball if you like add up the 9 positions. So this is an example. This is an example of them saying like it can't get much worse, huh?
Well, what's the deal with Turner in center field? Why do they like? So obviously he doesn't want to go there. I mean, it's the only reason. Is it he feels like he needs a lot more work there for spring training? Like, I mean, it's the only explanation I can come up with is he needs a full spring at center to really do it. I don't know. I don't know why, other than ego.
And that's probably what it is that he needs a full spring, that he doesn't feel comfortable doing it right now because, like, the Phillies front office, while they have made some questionable decisions over the last few years, if they're being honest with themselves, if they're looking at the product on the field, they know Trey Turner's not a shortstop anymore. They know that this guy can't be the everyday shortstop in 2027. So it probably just comes down to not wanting to make that switch in season. They're making it with Harper, but not with Turner. It's interesting. Like you heard Bryson Stott yesterday make the comment that our MVP, our 2-time MVP, is making the positional switch. That shows you that, like, I mean, what can the rest of us say? And when I'm thinking of that in relation to Trey Turner, not he didn't mean that in relation to Trey Turner,
right.
Stott, but honestly, anybody should be willing to switch. And Turner played center field in like 2019, 2018, around that range. So it's been a while, but I mean, Harper hasn't played right field since 2022. They need to. That's the other thing is that they're making all these defensive switches, and the guy who's the worst at his current position is the one who keeps his position. So
that's what they're mocking them on MLB yesterday. They're mocking him with that exact statement that you just said. Can I ask? Like, I guess Arráez likes playing second base, but he played a really good first base like last year. Like, why his fielding percentage was almost perfect. He did 117 games, I think, last year before first base. Like, why?
He also played third before.
Yeah, why is I don't forget. I guess part of the trade was he's got to play second base.
Well, I mean, he made it known to teams that were going to trade for him that he wanted to play second base, and he's a free agent after the season. So, I mean, he's thinking about his own value. Like, there's more value for a guy who can play second and first as opposed to someone who's just seen as a first baseman. But it's not like he had a no trade clause. I mean, it's not like you had to guarantee. But I mean, you want to keep a guy happy if that's your big acquisition. I mean, honestly, if Arráez did play first base under this arrangement, it wouldn't change much, would it? I guess if Arráez played first base, Harper would still need to go out to right field. You'd still have Bohm at third base and stuff. So it would be the same arrangement. It would be the same offense, just guys in different spots. Arráez at first, Harper and right, as opposed to Arráez at second, Harper and right. But so
yeah, I guess I'm thinking Stott's glove is much better second than Arráez.
Right.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. It goes back to your point, Core, is that they're married to Bohm.
Right.
Otherwise, you just play third, and you put De La Cruz in the outfield because Arráez can play third.
Right.
Or you put Stott there. Like, I just don't understand what they see with Bohm. Yeah, he's the most frustrating player. I try to remember back in the day who he compares to. He's just incredibly frustrating, and they just keep doubling and tripling down on the kid.
I think they just look at it like the bats that actually moved yesterday. So other than Luis Arráez, there really were not many impact bats that moved. Like Adley Rutschman and Liam Hicks are catchers. That didn't fit what the Phillies were looking for. Taylor Ward and Joe Adell were probably the next 2 best offensive players who moved yesterday other than Luis Arráez. And I think the Phillies look at it and they say, is Joe Adell really going to rest of season going to be more of an offensive producer than a Brian De La Cruz or an Alec Bohm? And then they come to that conclusion, no. And then they end up sticking with Bohm. But they've come to that conclusion so many times over the last few years, and look what it's resulted in. It's just hard to believe, but
I mean, but Taylor Ward would be legitimate. Would have been legitimate.
Yeah, and that's a move I would have made too. Like if you came out of yesterday with a big OBP guy in Taylor Ward and Luis Arráez who can slap the ball around, again, it elongates the lineup. You're 5-6 deep. You probably feel better about Taylor Ward than you do about Alec Bohm. They're really reliant on Bohm having a big second half here. They're really relying on Bryce Harper having a big second half too. I mean, Harper's come on over the last week, and it's been much needed because he was quiet. We've always been wondering, what does this offense look like when Harper and Schwarber are doing nothing? We saw that in the month of July. So, I mean, that's the biggest turnaround they need in the second half.
Well, and to your point, the one thing, again, that, I mean, they just have nobody other than Harper and Schwarber that gives you consistent power. And look, Schwarber, what do you get, 3 in July?
Yeah, he's been in a slump, dealing with some like physical stuff and trying to play through it. And he has not been the same guy. And he'll get hot again. He'll go on one of his power binges where he gets 5 in a week. But when he's not doing it, this is a totally different offense. They are so reliant on him popping a 2-run homer to change the complexion of a game or change the complexion of a series. And right now, they're just leaning into trying to string hits together. That's why you get a Luis Arráez. The Phillies have not been able to string hits together really at any point during this era of contention. They've been more of like a boom bust offense, and now they're relying on the Arráez single and Turner single for the big boys, or Stott and Justin Crawford setting the table at the bottom. And we'll see if these guys have what it takes.
What's nuts is that, all right, like it's like you used the analogy about half in, right? So now they go, all right, well, we're gonna play small ball, right? All right, like Arráez, good move. You're going to play small ball with a team that's completely reshuffle the whole deck defensively. A horrific defensive team. This is why Dombrowski sucks as a general manager. Because who are you? Your identity, right? Like, if I'm built on pitching, if I got those 3 stars, look all the money he invested in pitching. Right? Like, listen, I love the Luzardo trade. That was a good trade. Forget the Nola thing, but you invested a lot of money in your starting pitching. Great. Shouldn't you have defense behind them?
You should also have like a lockdown setup man. I mean, that should have been a priority yesterday too. Caleb Killian's a nice piece to have. He comes with team control. You're going to have him for the next 5 years, but he's an unknown. He has a 4.5 ERA. He's walked a lot of batters. He might come in here and be as good as Jonathan Boland's been and be a revelation and help you. But I totally agree with what you just said. The identity of this team is starting pitching, right? That's like the only real identity it has right now. Starting pitching plus Harper and Schwarber, whatever you would like combine that into. And the defense behind them's porous. The bullpen, you're kind of crossing your fingers. You're going to be crossing. If Zach Wheeler or Christopher Sanchez leaves a playoff game after 6 1/3 innings, and there have to be, 8 outs covered before you get to Joan Duran, those are going to be 8 excruciating outs you're going to have to get through. Hopefully somebody steps up, but they're just, I came out of this deadline thinking the Phillies are still going to be crossing their fingers, hoping that they can advance far into October. And maybe the calculus by this front office was the Dodgers, Brewers, and Cubs are so far out in front of them right now anyway, that winning it all is not worth, that the distant idea of winning it all this year is not worth trading away some of those top prospects. That's obviously what the conclusion they came to yesterday.
But the other issue too is like how you build it, right? So if they're scrambling, they scramble for Bichette, it's not like Trey Turner was a great defensive shortstop. Like, Trey Turner struggled at that position. And there should have been a conversation last year, at the end of last year, going, hey, dude, we could really use you in center. Because, as much as you were looking for Crawford or whatever, you had to hold center, right? Like, come on. Your outfield was your outfield.
Yeah, I think with Turner, what happened was he committed a career low 8 errors last season. He made defensive strides last season. I think at the end of the year, the Phillies convinced themselves that he was okay there. It'll be okay. We can keep him there another few years. Yeah. And it didn't turn out to be okay because he's been as bad this year at shortstop as he's ever been.
I know.
I'm looking through. I'm just like, I would much prefer Cody Clemens right now instead of Crawford. And I'm looking up, he's got 19 home runs this year. They gave him away for cash. Like, he's a guy that I don't know. I'm looking, Crawford frustrates me. And I'm like, I watch Cody Clemens play. I feel like every other night, every other week, there's a highlight of him doing something. And they gave him away for money.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I mean, that's
mistake after mistake these guys make.
Well, it's the truth. And they look at the reason why Crawford's young and they go, all right, well, he's our homegrown. So much was tight. Like, I would have moved him. Like, would you have traded Crawford for Ward?
Probably not. I mean, you're talking about 2 months of Taylor Ward. I don't think that's quite enough of an upgrade. I still think Justin Crawford can be a little bit better than he's been this season. So I would have only traded one of those guys for someone who came with at least 1.5 years of control. Like, it would have been at least more than this season.
Okay. I mean, the other guy that Ramos plays no defense. I get it. And I
would have taken him though. I would have traded one of these guys for.
I feel you.
Ramos.
I feel you on Ward. But my point is I look at Crawford and I go, he is what he is. I mean, like I mean, are you in love with Crawford? I'm not.
I'm not, and I actually, VG made a good point yesterday. He said you could probably easily replace that production on the free agent market with like an inexpensive free agent, and I agree with that. Like with what Justin Crawford's given you this year, Philly's still holding out hope that he can be like a 300 every year guy. Who knows whether that happens or not? They need all these guys to come up and click in a way that Painter and Crawford have kind of clicked in 2026, but not nearly enough. I mean, you were heavily relying on those two pieces and Aiden Miller to push this thing forward, and it's kind of gone the other direction. It seems almost like two consecutive markets have gotten away from the Phillies. Last offseason, they had the big priority of re-signing Schwarber, but then after re-signing Schwarber, it's like, what was the plan? And in this trade market, they obviously ran out of time trying to get an arm.
Ran out of time. It's crazy. It's insane. All right.
Well, you had to finish up that Seth Johnson trade. You had to hammer out that Seth Johnson trade just before 6 p.m.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And they get Thomas, who is a right-handed bat who can't hit home runs in Sutter Park, where everybody can. Mossmo can hit home runs in Sutter Park. My boy, we love you, Court. Great job. We'll talk to you on Friday. Great stuff covering the deadline, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
The great Corey Seidman. Great job. Coming up on Buddy Murph. I'm curious to see what Murph's a great baseball man. I'm curious what Murph has to say. We'll talk Birds, little Sixers, everything with Murph coming up next. But first, a word from our friends. Let's talk about Rita's. Be cool, go to Rita's. They got a brand new Shirley Temple Italian Ice. Tastes just like the classic drink you grew up with. You want to take it to the next level? Add the Shirley Sparkle topping for a little extra fun. And while you're there, grab a limited edition Shirley Temple cup. Snap a photo, post it on social media. You could win free Rita's for a year. But don't wait. This flavor is only around for a limited time. I know VG loves the Shirley Temple.
Love it.
Rita's all more than just one great flavor. They got the Italian ice made daily with real fruit, frozen custard, unbelievably creamy, and you put it together for the gelati. Oh, my God, it's tremendous. Before you head over, download the Rita's app to find your nearest location, order ahead, and if you're a new app user, you'll get a free small treat just for signing up. With so many flavors to mix and match, the combinations are endless. Treat yourself to a scoop of happiness summer. Rita's Ice Custard Happiness. Be cool. Go to Rita's. All right. Whether you're grinding through the rec league playoffs or chasing your kids around the yard or going to the gym with my boys, they're now starting to outlift me. The big one is just feel the aftermath of the Sunday morning workout. Guess what? Pain does not have to be part of the routine. Rothman Orthopedics keeps every type of athlete moving. Pros, college standouts, young athletes, and yes, the weekend warriors like us who make our community go. PHLY Sports trust Rothman because several of us are patients. We've gone there. BG did, I did, knee, my ACL, my Achilles, the whole thing. Head to RothmanOrtho.com, PHLY. Use the fast scheduler. Connect with Rothman's VIP scheduling team. They're going to match you with the right specialist for your injury, so you're not wasting time guessing. And you need quick guidance? Rothman now gives you immediate around-the-clock virtual access to an orthopedic expert. Perfect for those, hey, did I just tweak something? And then you connect, and it'll tell you what's up. Don't push through the pain. Visit RothmanOrtho.com/PHLY and get back to doing what you love. Now, our man, the esteemed columnist for the Inquirer, David Murphy, on the Xfinity mobile call-in line. Murph! Good morning, buddy.
What's up? What's up, fellas? How we doing?
Are you healed up after the shaving mishap?
I'm good, man. I still got a little scar, but it was I don't know what I did to myself. It was like what was that Johnny Depp movie, The Barber of whatever it was?
There's been a lot of talk in the chat today with you coming up. They want to know, are you a disposable razor guy or you got your
I am. I am because it's just such a pain in the butt to keep track of the handles and like buy the new cartridges. It's just so much easier to grab the disposables.
That's why you're bleeding. The disposables.
Yeah. No, hey, the disposables have come a long way. It's not those little Bics anymore that you're shaving with. The worst though, you ever get a razor at a hotel if you forgot it?
Yeah.
Oh my lord, those when I was covering baseball, it was at
No,
least like
they're the worst because you're
once-
one blade.
I
And
know.
they
It's
just
like one
cut
blade.
you up, man.
It's like, thanks guys. Like, come on. I did some damage to my face back in the day. But yeah, it's all good, man. We're good. We're good.
Are the Phillies good?
No, man, they're really not, you know. I wrote my column tonight. The first sentence of my column today was,
Yeah.
At some point, Dave Dombrowski's gonna have to start being right, isn't he? Like,
dude,
well, I mean,
I love it. I love it. You're great. You killed it. Killed it.
but like, it's look, baseball is I get it. It's fluky, you know. You can't necessarily, play the hindsight game all the time. Guys have 2 bad months if you trade for them, right? Yada yada yada. But look, man, you gotta bat higher than 300 to be a professional executive. Otherwise, just put me or you in there and give us $100,000, and like we'll be happy, and the results won't be any different. It's
the results will be better.
I actually think that, but whatever. I'm high on my own supply too, so but look, I got into a big argument with a buddy of mine about whether I'd be better than a certain GM at one point, and I still believe I would have, but that's besides the point. The point is, how do you let this team get to a point where you're sending they've somehow managed to change everyone's position and put everyone in a worse position than they were before. And it's like they did it in order to get another left-handed bat. And look, I get it. Arráez is splits. He hits lefties as well as righties. But I dug in the numbers a little bit, and he hits average lefties better than righties, and he hits like most lefties better than righties. But if you put him up against like a Chris Sale or a he's 1 for 12. He's 1 for 12 in his career against Skubal. He's 1 for 12 in his career against Yamamoto, who's a righty. He's like 4 for 15 against Sale. Now look, all small sample sizes, but the fact is, not only that, but he's a singles hitter. And when's the last time you saw this team string together 3 hits in a row? Like it's such an old school baseball move that like Dombrowski. I was having flashbacks to the end of the 08 regime. Like Dombrowski's out there talking about Alex Bohm's RBIs, and it's like, dude, what are we doing? Like I thought we all accepted that getting on base and hitting for power are the 2 facets of the pro baseball game, and they're like trying
all
to
of a sudden he's with ribbies. RBI.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about RBI anymore.
Well, if you look at Alec Bohm's, there's not many third basemen that have more ribbies than him. Like, all right, great, bro. Like, okay, I guess the offense is like analytically we're doing better than like whatever. What did the Cavs coach say? Analytically,
yeah, we won the series.
Analytically, we won the trade deadline. Like, all right.
This is what Keith Law, I guess someone just retweeted. Keith Law wrote this yesterday. Most obvious solution is to slide Bryce Stott to third base, not ideal for midseason, and install Arráez at second with Alec Bohm, who can neither hit nor field at this point going to the bench or beyond. Rather than moving him to first base, Bryce right fields. I don't know whether Bohm even has trade value at this point with $10 million salary and production below replacement level. And because he's a free agent after the season anyway, the Phillies have no incentive at all to keep playing him. Also, today's Bohm's 30th birthday, so happy birthday. Have you considered celebrating in Lehigh Valley?
Wow. Now, look, that's a little over the top. I mean, has anyone looked at
Are we at that point, though?
I mean, has anyone looked at Edmundo Sosa's numbers lately? Like, that's the problem. The problem with this team is not Bohm. It's that there's nobody better than him. Like, you can't just send the guy to the bench to prove a point. Look.
Although I have to be honest with you, instead of moving all the position stuff, I think I'd rather have De La Cruz in the outfield, keep Bryce at first, and put Stott at third.
Yeah, I mean, you can look. At the point is that we're arguing about this. Right. Like you've already lost. Whatever your opinion on the matter is like it's not the kind of thing. I had a big revelation looking back at the Dodgers Skubal trade. Like, if you look at, and this has always been my big gripe with Dombrowski, is the lack of creativity. You know, it's like every move is the most obvious move. It's like we need, you know, our offense is struggling. Well, let's go trade for the guy who's leading the league in batting average. Let's go trade for the best closer. Let's go sign Trey Turner, the best guy in the market. Let's go sign, like, it's very easy to give the guy the most money at the top of the market. Like, that doesn't take any thinking or creativity, you know? Whereas Friedman's out there, like, say what you will about the payroll, but the guy they traded for Skubal, they initially got in a trade for Michael Busch at one of those, you know, it was like it was like that pro level kind of like, okay, this works out. That another one of those top 4 outfielders they traded for some guy they drafted. You know, it goes back. I always used to hold up the back when Epstein was with the Cubs, Theo Epstein was with the Cubs. They and the Padres pulled off a trade when Anthony Rizzo had like 100 career MLB at bats, and Andrew Kashner, who was a pretty good pitcher for a little bit, had, you know, he was a, you know, minor league guy knocking on the door, and they swapped them 1 for 1, you know, and that's how the Cubs got Anthony Rizzo. They traded a, you know, Andrew Painter type for an Anthony Rizzo type, and they won the deal. And that's the kind of stuff that, like, the Phillies just don't do. It's not just about drafting and developing. It's about, you know, building the system and being creative, and they just haven't done it. Like Stott's a guy where if you're being creative, you know, maybe he should have been a guy you should have been looking to trade if you thought you really needed Luis Arráez. You know, like that's the other thing nobody's talking about. Second base to third base ain't exactly like, you know, it's not like moving from you know, a strong arm guy moving from short to third where you're like, okay, he's definitely got this. You know, Bryson doesn't have the strongest arm in the world, you know. It's at least a question. Like, the guy's played 12 games there since high school, you know? And it's like, and then we're doing all this for Luis Arráez, who teams used to, like, refuse to put on the field because he was such a bad defender. Now, I know the metrics are better this year, but the metrics say he's a better second baseman than Bryson Stott, you know, and I don't know that I buy that. You know, I don't know that you'd rather have Luis Arráez out there.
Well, to go back to your Dombrowski point, again, you have a team that is built on pitching, right? Like, you got all that money tied up in a rotation, and Duran is your closer. So with all that, what goes with pitching? Defense. And they're a horrific defensive team.
Right. Yep. I'm with you. And this is like, I guess you can look at it and say this isn't going to make them any worse, but I don't know that I buy that either. You know, we'll see. It's at least a question mark. And it's you know, it's such a wild thing to do at this stage of the season for a hitter who, look, I get why they like Luis Arráez. He brings his hit skill is like unparalleled. I think he will help them you know, in the wild card race, because I think he's just going to clean up, you know, he's going to be on base all the time, I think, against number 3, number 4, number 5 starters. You know, he just hits everybody just about. So I get it. Like, and they need to make the playoffs, and Dave Dombrowski said that kind of pointedly yesterday, and I think that's what this trade was all about. But that's the issue, is you're at a point where you need to make the playoffs, and now you're doing stuff like this where, like, you could have given them a credit if they really like Luis Arráez, and Luis Arráez is out there with no market this offseason, and maybe they said, and you know, you're coming off 3 straight disappointing playoff series, and maybe they say, all right, you know, let's be bold, to quote our friend Gabe Kapler, let's be bold, and let's, you know, sign Luis Arráez for 1 year and $13 million, and trade Bryson Stott for a number 4 starter, or trade Bryson Stott for a corner hitting outfielder. You know, like, there's ways to do it that's not just like, all right, well, you know, we like our team, and then get to the trade deadline and scramble to fix the same holes that always exist. You know, it's just and
you didn't get a starting pitcher because you needed another starter. Like, I don't know what you're going to do. So Nolan now has to pitch in the playoffs.
Well, and it blows my, not even that. That's one issue, right? And I agree with that. That's going to be a huge issue. You know, now look, I'll say this: the prices were clearly very high. I mean, the Cubs, I think, pulled off. Like, if I on my power rankings leading up to the deadline, like, my number 1 trade for them was something like Clay Holmes and Tyrone Taylor for, you know, but I thought it would be for not much. But it turned out that the Cubs gave up a top, whatever, 75 prospect, you know. I think that might be how the Phillies settled on pivoting their eyes. We're like, look, if we're going to trade Ramon Marquez, we want to get more of an potential impact than a Clay Holmes type, which is fine. And I think actually that's the
I don't
right
know how the
calculus.
Padres got Casey Mize and Robbie Ray. Like I wanted Robbie Ray bad.
What I don't understand is yeah, I'm with you. You needed someone. And I think that's, the long story executive summary of the trade deadline is like, if you didn't fix that, if you don't have anyone who's pitching game 4, like, what's the point of sacrificing all this stuff for a guy just to get you there? Especially when the Dodgers signed Skubal. Like trading Marquez for a rental is just, he's the kind of guy you got to trade for, like a Brandon Marsh who's under club control, who's younger, who has some upside. He's the kind of guy you trade for a Jesus Alvarado or whatever. But to he had value clearly, and I think his value was going to be higher in the offseason, clearly than it was heading into the season. That's like, all right, if we want to trade this guy, let's figure out a piece that's going to help us for the next 3 years, so we're not constantly dealing with these question marks. But Luis Arráez is going to be gone, or you're going to have to overpay him to stay. Yeah, I don't know. It's just
as someone in the chat pointed out, you could have just signed him in the offseason for $12 million. And now
that's the whole point. It's like, if he's out there, if he's out there, if this was
he was out there
reasonable,
forever.
Yeah.
Right. And like, I guess Dombrowski, like he'll like kind of smirk at you, at a question like that. Well, we had Bryson Stott, and that's totally, just like they smirked at you when you asked about Bryce Harper moving to the outfield all the time. But it's like, all right, well, clearly this was a potential scenario since you're scrambling now, and it's the scenario you've landed on. So why not do it? Why not think outside the box and get ahead of the curve? And if this was a legitimate scenario that you're pumping up now, do it in the offseason when you didn't have to give up a prospect for it. And then you could have fixed the defensive questions by, trading surplus for an area of need.
Or you could have went out and moved Bryce to the outfield and signed Alonso. And then
right.
There's your big right-handed bat to put after Schwarber.
That's my yeah. I mean that's Pete Alonso has always been my number one guy for the Phillies, whether at the trade deadlines or last year. He's just such a perfect fit for. I don't know why the guy doesn't get more credit than. Yeah, his numbers are ridiculous. He's pretty much like Schwarber. But I think Bryce might have been open to that, but they didn't, and then you go back and you just tally up all the wasted money that paying $10 million to David Robertson for half a season of slop, and paying $10 million
Keller
Garcia, paying $10 million to Murrayfield, paying $72 million to Taiwan Walker. It's
yeah,
just
they treat $10 million like it's a $10 bill.
Right. But then you can't sign Pete Alonso to 4 years and 120 or whatever you got. It's just I don't know. I think it's frustrating for those of us who followed this team from the highs of 2008 to the kind of the slop of the decade in between, and now it just feels like they're trending back in that direction because they're just every year they set themselves up to have to answer the same questions the next year. There's no getting ahead of it.
No. And again, it goes back to leadership. We're in overtime, OT right here in this city. I'm with you, buddy. You keep looking at it. It's all about leadership, and they don't develop, and their farm system, and it's the same story, man. And they're getting mocked around the league.
Yeah, and it's I don't know. Look, Dombrowski is at a point where I think I wrote it in my column today. Any problem that he is encountering now is of his own making because he's been here for 5.5 years, and I would say, look, you got to give the farm system time. We're not going to really know how well he did until 7 or 8 years. That's not true. If you look at the Dodgers, it's just not true. All these guys that are on the top 100 for them are guys that they've gotten, since Dombrowski has been a general manager, and again, Friedman, 5.5 years into his tenure with the Dodgers, they've been to 2 World Series, lost 1 in 7 games. They won the World Series in their 6th year. He'd signed Max Muncy from the garbage bin. He'd, added Justin Turner, when nobody thought Justin Turner was great. He, signed or traded for Chris Taylor, traded for Kiki Hernandez, traded for Mookie Betts. Like, none of that. The roster is largely the same 6 years into Dave Dombrowski's tenure as it was at the beginning of his tenure. He had a Brandon Marsh. But other than that, it's all they've done is, created holes where he brought in Nick Castellanos. Like, there's been no, he's had 6 years to fix.
As opposed to your point, Teoscar. Teoscar would have fixed it for 4 years.
Yeah, and that's my whole point. Is at some point, doesn't he have to get these moves, like at least get a preponderance of the moves right? Like even just half, isn't like otherwise what's he doing? Why is he there? And I think that's the frustrating thing where, and look, I think I would have bit my tongue a little bit more if he hadn't said what he said about Harper, this offseason. But look, if we're going to sit there and start calling out Bryce Harper for not being elite anymore, let's talk about the GM. Like you can argue he was elite going to World Series and stuff, but is he, when's the last time he's looked like an elite general manager? Like you never look at a move they do. The Ballin move is it's such a breath of fresh air. Trading Strahm for Jonathan Ballin was the kind of move that a GM needs to regularly make. Get rid of Matt Strahm before he implodes. Find a guy that you like. Now look, maybe the guy, the reliever they got, Killian from the Giants, will fit that mold. But that's got to be the paradigm. That's got to be the operating paradigm. Again, Max Muncy has had like 5 straight Bryce Harper type seasons at the plate, and he's getting paid $10 million for them. And it's that's just like you said, Teoscar. Like Philly signed Castellanos to 5 and 100, and the Dodgers the next year signed Teoscar for what? 3 and I don't know what it was, 4 and 75, maybe 3 and 75. It's just like these are big things to get wrong. And yeah, no one's going to be perfect. And Friedman's made plenty of mistakes. His bullpen last year, he went over the century signing guys. But guess what? They got a great bullpen this year, and they ain't making that mistake again. They've got pitching coming out the wazoo. And look, you add another $100 million of Phillies payroll, some of these problems maybe fix themselves. But I don't know, do they? Given what we've seen, or you're just wasting another $100 million.
All right, let's switch gears to the Birds. Here we are, today's first day in pads. What are your observations?
Well, I haven't been down there yet, but so I can't speak from kind of eyewitness testimony. Now that the trade deadline's over, I'm definitely gonna get down there. But I think my biggest recent takeaway about the Eagles is you have to be encouraged that they signed Jalen Carter. Not necessarily obviously they could have signed him. The fact that they did and seem so confident about it, to me, tells me that they fully expect him to be back to what he was, 2 years ago. The shoulder isn't in it because there's all these things where it's like, oh, if the Phillies didn't sign. If they went in the season without having signed him to a contract extension, you could rightfully say, oh man, what are we going to get out of Jalen Carter? This defense could be in trouble if he is what he was, for the bulk of last season. The contract extension tells me that's not going to be the case. And if Jalen Carter is Jalen Carter 2 years ago, I think this defense, we've seen it can single-handedly carry a team to a Super Bowl. And
hey, look at Jalen's Hunt, dude. He looks great.
Awesome.
He's going to be a stud.
I was down there. I was down there for that is my one of my takeaways from when I was down there for minicamp was he had a play where he dropped in the coverage and picked off. I forget who he picked off, but it was somebody over the middle, and it was just like one of those plays where you could see why Vic Fangio kind of smiles anytime someone mentions the guy's name. And I think that's the big thing with this defense this year is there's actually some there's some things that can go right. There's some unknowns to the upside, whether it's Grenard, look, maybe Grenard is past his prime. Maybe there's a reason, whatever. But there's at least a chance that he's, a dramatically better pass rusher than they had in that spot last year. I think there's way less questions about Jalix Hunt. I think he's clearly on the up and up. The only question is, can he actually be a difference maker on the edge? Because that's all the defense is missing is that elite kind of instant pressure from the edge. And yeah, I think I'm much higher on the Eagles right now, than I was probably before the Carter contract extension.
Yeah, I love this defense, man. Like we're going to talk, because that's what we do. We're going to talk about offense and the new system and Mannion and Hurts and the whole thing. But their defense is like, what a gift that when you're installing an offense like this, that you can lean in on that unit.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Look, I'm way less bullish on the offense. I think that there's, they could need a defense to pull them over the finish line. Mm-hmm. I love my Kyle Lemon. I love that guy's tape. I think he's whether it's St. Brown or Smith and Jigba, or I think he's got a little Puka in him too. Obviously he's not at the level of any of those guys, but that kind of style, I think he's just like, as long as Jalen Hurts is willing to throw it into traffic over the middle, he's the kind of guy that's gonna, he's gonna make a catch in traffic, But look, I think tight end's a huge question mark. We'll see what Goddard has left. I think I like the Johnny Munt signing. So we'll see about the personnel, and obviously the offensive line is the biggest question mark at all. And that's going to hold the key. I mean, if they're what they were 2 years ago, then the Eagles are probably, second to the Rams as an NFC favorite in my book. If the offensive line is what it was last year, then I think they're kind of priced appropriately right now.
Yeah, I feel you, brother. How's Max?
He's great, dude. We were swimming all weekend. He's a nut. He's getting his canine teeth in right now, so he's slobbering all over the place and biting everything. But he's good. It's been great. I'm just fired up for football season, man. I've been getting the bug.
Yeah,
getting the bug.
My man.
To do some fantasy draft prep. I love this time of year.
I'm with August. I'm a big fan of August. I love August.
You got your big Hall of Fame game party every year, right?
I'll be ready Thursday night. In fact, I can't.
I heard they're gonna bring the World Cup watch party back for the Hall of Fame game on Lemon Hill. They're gonna pull out the big projector.
Let's go, Meg.
It's just gonna
do that.
It's gonna be Ant and three kids on bikes circling around, watching the Hall of Fame game.
Hey, by the way, do you guys see this? So apparently I got to ask Meg about it, but the host cities for the World Cup are looking for their money from FIFA. that they haven't been paid, that FIFA hasn't paid them. Of course. And they're looking for their money. Like it's astounding to me that FIFA is like a criminal enterprise. And it's the largest sports. It's unbelievable that this is what it is.
It's awesome, man. It's like, well, I saw the guy, Infantino, like Sepp Blatter was criticizing him the other day. Like if Sepp Blatter has the moral high ground on you, like it is insane. It's hilarious. It actually speaks volumes of positive things about the pro sports leagues in our country. Because say what you will about Roger Goodell, he ain't breaking kneecaps in alleyways.
No,
no. He pays his bills.
No, amazing. You're right, brother. You're the best, buddy. Great stuff. You are a great baseball man. I vote for you as GM.
Oh, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. I'll send my resume in.
All right. Good stuff, buddy. We'll talk to you next week, Murph. We love you. See you, pal.
All right. See you.
There he is, Murph.
Nice seeing his bookshelf starting to get filled up with stuff slowly.
Did you see? When I saw that story about FIFA, I'm like, I gotta ask Meg.
He's probably got all the money.
Did they pay Philadelphia? Like, you know.
He's gonna go on the lam soon because Europe pulled out all their support of him for his and now they're saying
he's out.
CONCACAF, the North, Central, and Caribbean, they're about to remove their support for him. Yeah, he's gonna be jobless soon.
And by the way, how much money do you need? Like, how much did he probably steal? Like, I mean, the guy, his salary was ridiculous, let alone what he
the
sold.
Lifestyle.
Right.
4 seasons, flying all over.
Like whatever he got. Like, dude, like, go enjoy your money and sit on a beach somewhere.
Yeah, it's not.
These guys are crazy.
He had to come up with this master scheme to sell it out to private equity, and they're all just like, no.
This is unbelievable. Man. The whole thing's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
A good video or a good photo on the internet. Johnny Airport with Arráez arriving. John Clark's great. And he's there. Skaversky's down there. I feel like Skaversky's also putting pictures up, but that's Johnny Airport's deal, right? You gotta give him that.
Yeah.
We all look forward. I know you know. We all look forward to Johnny Airport taking the pictures of the new idols.
Yeah. I mean, Arráez.
There he is. There he is.
Arráez isn't my, like,
he's the savior.
I mean, like, is he airport worthy? I don't think so.
He's not, but unfortunately, that's what we got.
Right. Like,
that's what we got. So you got to make a big deal.
I mean, he's not like, that's not, LeBron, right? Like,
well, Johnny Airport's not getting anywhere near LeBron. He drives private.
Well, Atlantic Aviation. Yeah. But my point is, like, of all the airport guys, like, I appreciate Johnny, but the airport, type of thing. By the way, Baldy was going to join us. He got caught in some travel stuff, but he was with A.J. Brown yesterday.
Oh, him and Mike Gier. Every day I'm seeing videos of them guys at different training camps together. They're a good team, a good combo.
Yeah. They're all right. Like, Mike's all right. I'm not jealous. Not a little bit. All right. That's going to do it for us. Jules. Chat. Love you, chat. Guys, have a great day. We love you. Have a we'll see.
$2 super chat MOP 85. Yo, cuz go Birds. PHLY all day. Thank you for being you.
Oh, who said that?
MOP_85.
MOP. Thank you, brother. We appreciate it. Guys, we love you. We'll see you in the morning.
We all silly like the mayor.